Morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here. Sunday special report. And today is the day I finally present my NBA referee report that I've been working on for a long time. Last season, I instituted a new segment to our previews for the games, and it was the ref report. And I started really digging deep on the referees in the NBA and how they affect the Toronto Raptors as far as whether they win or lose over long periods of time. And I've really thought about this and looked at stuff for a lot over the last 6 months or so, and thinking about like what matters as far as a referee and the whole thing about the referees, like putting up this, front of being fair and being impartial and being, supposed to be refereeing games, like officiating games in a very fair way. They really do try and make this happen. I'm serious, guys. Part of the reason why we hate the referees is because they make calls against everyone. And that the referees should have hate from every single fan nation in the NBA. The Raptors, the Celtics, the Knicks, every single team should hate the refs to a certain degree. That they're not doing their job right if they're not hated to a degree. I really do believe this and understand this. So, I want to take it from this perspective. Some of the stats and the things that I'll say and talk about today can be taken two ways. They're not necessarily bad. And sometimes, what they're trying to do is they do look at the win percentages for each ref with each team. And, in some ways, they get balanced out in the middle somewhere over time and stuff like that. Like, for instance, there's a lot of referees that have refed over 25 years in the NBA. And that means they've refed the whole existence of the Toronto Raptors. Well, the Toronto Raptors, very early on in their existence, were a very bad expansion team that only won 20 games out of 82 at times. Well, referees that were around then, of course, their winning percentage for us is going to be lower. But there are a few refs that have been around since then where we have a high winning percentage still, which is absolutely fantastic because that means these referees were, we were winning games when they were refereeing, even when we were really bad. So there's different ways of looking at everything and stuff like that. And I want everybody to, I caution you to take what I'm presenting today with a grain of salt and to also kind of look at it in it's just for information purposes. And that, the refs are really trying to be fair and they are trying to call things correctly. They really are. And the more scrutiny and the more we put them under a microscope, the more they will be influenced to do this even more. Things like the Netflix series this summer on Tim Donaghy help because they are like, okay, yeah, we have a bad reputation because of this guy. We have a bad reputation because of this game and the Lakers and the Kings. They really want to get it right and stuff like that. That's the most important thing, first of all. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the comments, first of all, this morning. Good morning, y'all. Logical Raptors fanatic. I love that first comment that I saw this morning when I logged in to put the screen up. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, logical, yes. I've been saying this for years. This dude bugs the hell out of me. Sam Mitchell, our coach of the year, one of our three coaches of the year that we've had. We've had three rookies of the year. We've had three coaches of the year. Isn't the smartest cookie. Not going to lie. Yeah, you know what? Listen, there is an annual tradition right around this time of year for Channing Frye to sewer us in his rankings and say we're not that good. Well, there's also an annual tradition that Sam Mitchell does the same damn thing. And I don't understand this. He has no excuse for being like this and sewering his expectations for the Raptors. You cover us, you idiot. You're actually at TSN and you stand next to Leo Routens and talk about the game regularly in part of the broadcast. You pay attention to the Raptors. So what the fuck is wrong with you, Sam Mitchell? You always do this. You always say something. I don't even know what he did, logical. I'm just going to go off what he does every year. He probably predicted us to do really shitty this year. And everybody's like, scratching their head because they're like, what the fuck, Sam Mitchell? What are you watching? What are you watching, Sam Mitchell? So don't even listen to Sam Mitchell. Like I said, he may have been a toxic coach for us at the time when he coached the team because he was going to fight some of the players at times. Yeah, he would challenge players on the Raptors to fights in practice. Oh, you want to go? I'll fight you and stuff like that. And then he was trying to tell them who they could and couldn't date and stuff like that. He is not somebody that I like in some ways. And also, I don't enjoy him on the broadcast. In fact, I kind of wish he would just go to the States and cover the NBA from down there and stop coming up here and taking a job from somebody who may cover the Raptors in a better way than him. Just because he was a coach of the year doesn't mean we need to put him on TV, is what I'm saying. Logical saying T minus. Yeah, he's counted down. Salute to you, Logical Raptors fanatic. I see you put up the first part of your series last night, and I will probably watch it this afternoon. Look out for Logical Raptors Freak YouTube channel. He's got new content up from yesterday, and it's good stuff, I'll bet. Denial's here. Salute to you, Denial, and everyone else. Good to see you here, Raptor Freak Denial. Raptors fanatics saying NBA ref relationships matter. Not gonna lie, they really very much do. This is an important point to bring up by Logical here. They really, really do matter both ways. They can be positive and happy relationships where people like each other, and that is good. And they can also be very acrimonious, bad relationships. You ask Chris Paul about his relationship with Scott Foster. It's a very seriously bad relationship. Chris Paul tried to get Scott Foster fired. Scott Foster's got something on the NBA. That man should have been gone, fired a long time ago. He's a dirty ass ref. In fact, I will talk shit about Scott Foster every fucking day until he gets fired from the NBA or he retires, because the dude is a dirty ref. He has been a dirty ref this whole fucking time. And in fact, the NBA has sullied its reputation by continuing to employ this motherfucker out there on courts in NBA games. I'm telling you right that. Because he cheats shit. He does shit. He obviously has a personal grudge against Chris Paul because he was the union leader of the Players Association. And he made an inquest about Scott Foster and tried to get him fired. Well, Scott Foster found out, and he has had it out for Chris Paul ever since. And he single-handedly, Scott Foster had a hand in the Suns losing in the finals. You will look at the record for Chris Paul in any playoff game with Scott Foster refereeing. He has lost that game, and that is not a coincidence. And that's what I'm saying. You marry in the stuff that we learned from the Tim Donaghy story on Netflix, that the referees can manipulate the game within the score of 7 points. That's right, y'all. They can. He admitted it on that special, that the referees can point shave or do different things like giving free throws to different people. They literally can manipulate the game within 7 points. So you piss off a ref, they can try and railroad you to a loss. And that's what I'm saying. They do this to Chris Paul, Scott Foster. And that really is true. Relationships matter. You can have good relationships with referees, and it helps you. It really does help you and stuff like that. That was one of the things that Precious said in the press conference this past week. He has a couple of refs that are his friends. Not that they're friends and they hang out and they do stuff. They're friendly. They're familiar, and he feels comfortable coming to them and asking them questions as a player in the NBA, how to play better within their rules and understand what they want on the court. There's some of those kind of relationships, and that's good. That's kind of like mentoring and kind of teaching from the referee to young NBA player. And they may, in some ways, really enjoy hearing a young player respect their job and say, look, I want to do better for what you guys think we should be doing out on the court and respect the rules. Well, maybe in turn, the referee respects a young man coming into the league and showing that kind of attitude about how to play in the NBA. Then maybe they throw them a bone and give them a couple of calls and stuff like that. I think it is very convenient and nice. And that Precious got 13 free throws on Friday night against the Boston Celtics in Montreal. That is not always the case. Where's Pascal's free throws? I mean, Pascal goes to the basket all the time. He probably should get to the free throw line way more. Now, why doesn't he get the calls? I don't know exactly. But Precious seems to be a friendly player to the refs. So maybe he gets more favor in some ways to get to the line and stuff like that. A lot of it has to do with play style and the way they carry their body too. But wow, really, really interesting fact that's very true. The referee's relationship with specific players can very much influence what happens. They can hate you. They can have a grudge. There's a female ref, Natalie Sago, had a grudge with Kyle Lowry. In the last couple of years that Kyle was on the Raptors, she was a newer ref, and Kyle tried her in the game at one point, and she never forgot that. And, she threw Kyle out of game in Tampa season just for like He didn't even know why he got thrown out. He said after the game, I don't know what I did. She just threw me out. Well, that may have been accrued enmity from all the time that, you disrespected her, Kyle. Maybe you talked back to her at a certain point. She didn't like it. She remembered. And now, yeah, there's a little bit of a grudge or a little bit of like, we don't like you, Kyle, because you did this to me or something like that between the referee and something. I think that Kyle had that with a couple of refs in the league in different ones. I know Natalie is one of them, but there were a few other refs that they're like that. In some ways, that's tough. That's baggage for a team when you have a player that has animosity from the refs and stuff like that. In fact, I felt lighter last season with the referees in some ways just because Kyle was not involved in talking to them for our team. That's true. Seriously, I think Fred is much more of a diplomat. You can tell by his approach. He doesn't come at them with an energy that's negative. He comes at them with kind of like a stern, kind of like a very confident energy, but he's coming for information. He's not coming with emotion at them. He's just coming to talk to them, maybe have a little discussion, and maybe kind of do things good anyway. Fred is one of the most intelligent players in the NBA, and that he really probably does have a really smart way of approaching the referees to get results and effective results, because obviously he just wants to win. So he probably really did learn how to talk to the refs and what gets the sugar. It's like you give a little sugar, you get a little sugar back. So I'll bet you that Freddie, being the new de facto captain of our team instead of Kyle Lowry, has helped us with the referees in the last year. And it should continue to be that way. Hopefully, we can get an even better relationship with the referees over time. With people like Precious and Scottie talking to the refs and really getting, ingratiated with them. And that in the future, as time goes on, they're like, that's Scottie Barnes. He's a young superstar in the NBA. Yeah, I don't mind calling fouls for him and putting him on the line and getting him and ones and stuff like that, because he's a superstar and stuff like that. That really does factor into things. If they don't like you, they will go ahead and give you a second technical in the third quarter and throw you out, Jason Tatum. That's what I'm saying. The referees are very interesting, and we're going to talk about the different levels of referees. We can have these baby refs, young refs, vet refs, senior refs, different levels of years experience that the referees have had in the league. In fact, this is one of the most important things that Nick Nurse looks at when he sees who the refs are for the game. He likes to see if there's somebody who has a little experience, like maybe they're under 5 years experience in the NBA as refs. Ooh, he's kind of a little bit like, licking his chops. Because this is the thing. Nick Nurse said at the Hungary coaching conference this summer that if he sees a younger ref, he will really try to manipulate them. Not manipulate them, but just kind of try and really be forceful as an experienced head coach in the world of basketball for many decades. He really does kind of know how to get stuff from the refs, especially if they're inexperienced. So it's not that he bullies them, it's just that he can manipulate a younger ref a little bit more easier than like a 25 plus year ref like Mark Davis or something like that. Yeah, he can go and talk to Evan Scott like he did last season and kind of get in his face and maybe intimidate him. It's like, oh, you screwed that call up. Well, you better give us calls again right way in the next time down the court and stuff like that. And Evan Scott may be like, wow, that's Nick Nurse. He won a championship his first year as a coach in the NBA. Okay, I better listen to him. And then boom, we start getting favor. There is a way for coaches to intimidate the refs. And Nick Nurse is very aware of this, and he does use it against younger refs that are like 5 years experience and less. Like, yeah, he can get away with it because these guys are just trying to make the league. And, he may be very good at influencing them in certain ways. That's part of being an NBA head coach. It's not just the X's and O's. It's not just the managing of the players and the development and the scouting and the practices. It's about relationships with the referees. That coaches that have been in the league for a long, long time, like Popovich, they have relationships with these refs and they can get more done because they have esteem. They have a respect around the league. You don't think Greg Popovich gets respect from the referees to a certain degree just because of who he is, what he's done, and how he carries himself? You're damn right he does. And that helps the Spurs win percentage over the decades and years that he's been around. And Nick has that same kind of respect from a lot lot of the refs. I truly believe this. And that's good because our team has not gotten a lot of respect from the referees in its existence. That our team's real easy to disrespect by the referees. Well, now it's like we have a fan base that cares more. We have people like me doing content all the time. That means they're more under a microscope, and maybe they can't really get away with doing the Raptors wrong because nobody cared before. Oh, well, they screwed over the Raptors again with the referee call. Nobody cared. Not enough people cared. Well, people care now. People are paying attention, and they're a little bit more like careful about things like that with us in particular. They're not screwing us over left and right because we are smarter as basketball fans, and we can tell when they're doing it now. This is all a part of it. I know because I've seen the evolution of this over the 27 years the Raptors have existed. We got screwed over left and right, but nobody cared. It's like, who cares? It's like, or they didn't even know we got screwed over. I was a very intelligent basketball fan right from the start, and a lot of the fans weren't. And there was a lot of shady shit happening. And I would catch it and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how the refs are doing us like this. But nobody knew what was going on. It was crazy. It was so crazy. I'm so glad that our fan nation is so much more with it and educated on basketball and like getting into the very advanced X's and O's and things like what I'm talking about. You know, we needed the basic knowledge in the beginning for real when we were in the Sky Dome. We really did. All right, let's keep going. Good morning to Monique, everyone. 3 more days? That's that many. Wow, 3 more days. I can't wait. I'm so excited for our home opener against Cleveland. Get there early, get there on time. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Logical's saying the refs are graded on missed calls and stuff, and the best scoring refs get to do the playoffs and big games. And I think they pay for the finals is a lot. So it's like a grading system now, similar to the last 2-minute reports, but for the whole game. And because we have less TV games and therefore don't always have the best refs. Yeah, this is very much a phenomenon that Nick Nurse has talked about and other people that have studied this. That, you know, the prestige of the refs and how much experience the refs have really can indicate how well you are being refereed in a game. But also, I'm going to say something. There's a little bit of a referee mafia, and I'm going to talk about them because I have rankings, and I'm going to name refs on this show that are good and bad for the Raptors at different levels of experience. That we have good young refs that look out, and we've had a lot of winning underneath, and we have really bad young refs where there's a couple refs we haven't even won a game under and stuff like that, and all the times we played and stuff like that with them. But this is really true and logical. This is a huge part of the referee thing is they are so scrutinized. They get graded on everything they do. They look at every single call they make, and that's why they really want to get them right. Like when they did the offensive foul charge in the last game that they overturned because we challenged, that was really, they had to go back and look at it and say, well, was Kem moving or was Kem right? Or wasn't Kem, it was Thad. Was Thad moving or was Thad there in that spot when he took that charge in the last game? Well, they originally called it as an offensive a blocking foul on Thad Young because he was slightly coasting from one angle, it looked like, but he was actually pretty set, and they overturned it and they gave it back to us. See, when they got that challenge, they could have easily just let it stand and keep going. But they, you know, when they looked at it and they reviewed it, they knew that if the NBA officiating office, Kane Fitzgerald, Joe Dumars, and all them looked at what they called, they would have gave them the wrong mark because they got the call wrong at that point. So they had to switch it. So there is really a strong need for the referees to call it fair because they know they're going to get over scrutinized and looked at for every single call and graded. And this is so true. Like these guys really are trying to call it down the line. I'm not coming here today to tell y'all that the referees are crooked completely. Sure, some of them are. But some of the younger refs and the different people are just trying to carve out their careers as NBA officials are not. The older refs are. There are a couple of refs that are still reffing right now that are crooked as fuck. And they're still ensconced in the league because they're protected, because they have them still around. You know I'm talking about Scott Foster. He is numero uno on this list. This man should not be in the NBA. He sullies the integrity of the officiating of the NBA every single time he steps on the court. I don't give a shit if they cleared him of the Donaghy stuff. The implications of what he was doing with Tim Donaghy are clearly there, and that he is tainted. He has been tainted for the last 15 years. But for some reason, they look the other way and just let him keep going. It could be very well that he makes very good scores on these scores and things like that. Now, I don't have access to the referees' scores for accuracy that Logical's talking about here. I would, if I did, I would definitely go in there and really look at those stats too with what I'm talking about today. But I don't have access to that. But I do know it's very much true what Mike's saying here, that the ones that have the best scores of accuracy do get to get the big jobs in the playoffs and go forward. So the guys who get added to the playoff referee roster, those really are the guys who did the best job the whole season. I shouldn't say guys, the refs, because there's ladies, there's everybody and stuff like that. So this is a very good point also. And Logical, I'm really appreciate you giving me some of the talking points I want to talk about already in this, that they are very highly scrutinized and they are trying to do it fair and look on the up and up no matter what. That it really is a big part of the job and stuff like that. All right, let's keep going with what you guys are saying. I like the comments, and then I'll get to my rankings and I'll tell you what's up. Respect, Lex, it's a good one for sure. Step up again. All right, let's see. Monique saying Tony Brothers is definitely not on my list. Not on your list for who you like, and not on the list for who we like. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Tony Brothers is a bad ref for the Raptors historically. We have lost way more games under him than our average. The average win percentage for the Raptors franchise over its entire existence is 48%. We have won 48% of our games in the whole history of the Toronto Raptors. That's evening out all of the winning we've done in the last 10 years or so with all the losing in the very beginning, 48%. So when I'm looking at these numbers, that is the watermark. That is where if the referee's percentage is below 48%, that means we've lost more of our share of games with that referee involved. And if they're above that 48%, well, then that is a good ref. Somebody that we've had that we've had more success than failure underneath and stuff like that. So yeah, that is we're going to be looking at. And I'm going to tell you guys all their percentages and just very shortly and stuff. But Tony Brothers, just a spoiler, he's on the bad list. You were right, Monique. Nameless is saying, Buongiorno tutte, come via questa mattina. Oh, G saying Sago does not like Kyle at all. No, she does not. He tried her early on in her career. She was probably a rookie that year and made the bad first impression. And ever since. Now, she's very interesting for the Raptors where she is in the categories that I looked at and stuff like that. I have her categorized in a very specific category as far as refs, and I'll get to that. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Nameless saying Kyle definitely had a beef with refs, probably 5 of them, dead ass. Yeah, he's just that kind of dude. He's just that kind of dude. Irritating. If you don't, he's not on your side. He can be very irritating. And I'll bet he was a pain in the ass for different referees throughout his career at different times. And some of them probably are they're more likely he has enemies as refs than friends. I don't think he has many friend refs. Let's just put it that way. Logical saying Fred can show frustration at times, though, hence the text. Yeah, but not very often. You got to understand, I don't see Fred get text very often. He's very smart. Like when he deals with the refs, he does treat them with a lot of respect. He doesn't just yell at them or just do anything crazy and stuff like that. He's very, very measured. And it's a very different approach than what Lowry used to do and stuff like that. G saying we need Gary to speak to Sago maybe in the refs in general. What, you just want Gary to charm them? Just be like, oh, come on, baby. Just be nice. Good things for us. Come on now. I don't think that'll work. I mean, really, they take this job real seriously and stuff like that. Monique saying Sago is one of the worst. Actually, she isn't. She's actually not bad. It's really interesting what she is as far as our record with her. It's very interesting. I'll tell you about it in just a little bit. Boston Sports is here. Good to see you, Boston Sports. We appreciate you guys coming up to Montreal and playing us in Canada. I know the Montreal fans really enjoyed getting a good overtime game and show from both of our teams. Thank you for coming up, and really awesome to see y'all's luminary, Robert Parrish, at the game and hearing words from him in the interview. I really have an immense respect for Chief Robert Parrish. He is a great Celtic and somebody that I really enjoyed as a child watching play. He was one of my favorite Celtics of all time. And I really, really love seeing him in Montreal and stuff like that. Boston saying, happy Sunday morning. Man, you guys beat us again. In both preseason games combined against you, Tatum has shot 12 for 31 and 3 for 17 from three. Talk about Brick City. You guys could hit everything. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of shine. Y'all's defense looks real good without Robert Williams III. That scares me to a degree. I really like Cabangeli. That kid is good. I really, really like him. And that was smart to get Vonleh. You guys need the size because the Philadelphia is more beefy and we're more beefy. You guys are going to need to be more beefy also. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But yeah, what a weird way to win against you guys. You guys shoot way better than us, shoot way more threes. And we're just like, I don't know what we're doing completely. And I follow this team very closely. We're just out energying, out muscling, out doing all this other stuff and just trying to make more shots and not really worry about three-pointers because we were not shooting threes good against you guys at all. And in some ways, I'm like, wow, how do we beat them in 2 overtime games like we did with how poorly we shot at three? It's really crazy. Logical saying, salute G and Nameless and respect G for the feedback. It's great to confirm certain thoughts I was having about my content. That's awesome. All right, G. Thanks for helping out Logical with this stuff. You're going to get better and better. This is just the nature of it. You put the reps in, just like the Raptors on the court, you will get better at what you do. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm putting in reps. Nameless is saying, Boston Sports, what's up, brother? Yeah, see, we got a cool Boston fan in here that we can talk to and stuff like that. The dust is settled. The preseason's over. That's old news. Let's talk about what's coming up this week. Tuesday, you guys got the Sixers. Let's go, Atlantic Division rivals. Let's have some bam, 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 bam. Boston and Philly. What a great game to start the season off. 2 of our division rivals that we don't really like against each other. Yeah, let's have a good game, y'all, and stay healthy so we can see the best version of y'all when we play y'all next, too. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. Always good to see you. G saying, Boston Sports, I think between our teams will be your 3-ball falling versus our rebounding and our transition bully ball points. Yes, G. Kind of what I was just trying to say, but not so clearly just now. Salute, salute, salute. Hi, Logical, my pleasure. Awesome. Okay, that's good to see. Nameless is saying, all good, baby. Was just preseason. Wins and loss don't exactly mean the same thing, bud. That's right. That's right. See, so don't get too worried, Boston sports fan. You know, there's some good things happening with you guys. And tomorrow, please tune in tomorrow. I'm going to do my Eastern Conference preview for how I see how the teams are going to stack up in the Eastern Conference and where they're going to land for the year. Let's see if my predictions, which will be very different than the ESPN predictions in other places around the U.S. and the media, are more correct by the end of the season than what they're all saying. I'm going to make my countdown of the top teams in the Eastern Conference and how they're going to line up at the end and the seeding and all that kind of stuff. Predictions tomorrow. So tune in 9:30 a.m. for my Eastern Conference preview. Yeah, I'm not doing a Western, so don't worry about that. It's just going to do East. Let's see. Yeah, Boston's saying, yeah, for sure. G, you guys out rebounded us by like plus 12. We're monsters on the board. We had like so many different guys getting offensive rebounds and stuff like that. The possessions, the turnovers, the deflections, you know, that is all really our bread and butter right now as far as how we can get things done and possibly try and get that W. Plus also, you know, listen, I don't know what's going on. I'd be a little worried about your head coach as far as like execution at the end of the game. And the one thing I will say, Boston sports fan, I said this in the stream in the reaction yesterday, is your coach, I don't know if he's going to fight for your superstars like Doka would have. Like when they threw Tatum out, I don't know if he came with the right kind of fight to try and keep him in the game. Now, I know that they're like, oh, this is something we're talking about today. We're talking about the refs. Well, Giamidis wanted to send a message and say, look, we're not putting up with any crap from anybody. And I think they're signaling that they're not going to be doing superstar calls for people where they can just let Jason Tatum just kind of do whatever because he's a superstar and he's a television person that people want to tune in to see. Well, the referee throwing him out in the third quarter, it kind of signals something like we're not putting up with Draymond Green cussing us out still just because he's a superstar and staying in the game. So some of the adjustment of the superstars in this league may have to happen this season because they may not be getting superstar treatment. Now, this is the preseason, and I'm not sure if it'll translate to the regular season. They may not do this to Jason Tatum in a game that actually counts. And I don't know. We'll have to see. But that was very interesting when they tossed him in the third quarter for just brushing him off. That's all he did. He didn't say nothing. He just went, pfft. And that is not, that's a no. You can't make a mannerism toward the ref at this point. They're really cracking down on certain things. And then it'll be interesting if they still call it fairly during the season. Now, what I'm saying is Missoula could have like been like, you know what? That's Jason Tatum. That's an important player. How are you going to throw him out in this third quarter and fight like Phil Jackson would for Michael Jordan? Like, you can't throw Michael out in the third quarter, shit like that. But he didn't know. He was dumbfounded. He's like, whoa, this is a curveball. I didn't know what the fuck to do in that moment. Said he turned around and got a technical. So I'm really kind of worried that like your coach may not be good at executing late game situations for you guys to win. That may be a problem for y'all this year. Is in close games, y'all aren't going to win them because your coach doesn't have the right experience. That's why I'm like, why didn't Brad Stevens just come back and coach y'all for one more year or something? Or why is it? I think Damon Stoudamire should be y'all's coach this season. I don't trust this coach you guys got right now. I can tell he has no clout and no respect in this league by the referees or anybody else. Who the fuck is this guy? He's just some dude who just showed up. It's like, we don't know this dude. He's not going to have any respect, and might be a problem. That might be a problem. Monique saying Celtics are going to be so bad. They're not going to be so bad. Listen, let's not get it twisted. That is a talented team that just was in the finals. It's just they're going to have some dysfunction that they didn't think they would have, obviously, coming out of the finals, just because of the Udoka situation. That this dysfunction from him, the ramifications and waves from it, they'll kind of show up in weird ways this season. I can tell already. But I think they're going to be very successful, and they're going to be a winning team, and they'll be in the playoffs. Let's not get twisted. They're not going to be like a team that doesn't make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be fine. And I'll tell you where I'm putting them next stream tomorrow morning. I'll be showing you where I put them in the ranking stuff. So, Cool Cat saying, do you think we received a better whistle last year? I really do, actually, Cool Cat. I was really paying attention to them last year, like really scrutinizing them. And I feel like we did for the most part. Obviously, we still don't get the fair amount of foul calls for our guys when they make moves to the basket. We're not getting to the line for and ones enough and stuff like that. I also hate how they sometimes call the foul on the floor instead of in the process of the shot. This actually happened in the Montreal game with OG. OG was making a move down the lane to the basket, and they called the foul on the floor, and they took it to the inbounds instead of letting him shoot free throws because he actually finished the move and he actually made the shot, and they should have gave him continuation. It's shit like that pisses me off. So Tatum hit him early before he went up with the shot, but a lot of other players, they may give the continuation through that and stuff like that. That's a gray area that I don't totally understand, is when they allow continuation from a foul and then the person lays it in and all of a sudden the basket counts and they get one free throw, or they hit them and they say, oh no, that's on the floor. You have to take it to the inbounds and there's no free throws and the basket doesn't count. That's the thing. I don't like those little kind of like weird changes and difference of how they call the plays sometimes. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Raptors fans. That they had that call on OG on Friday night. They did that. They said, no, it's on the floor while he was dribbling, not while he was in the process of shooting. That is such a gray area, and they can go either way on it depending on who it is. And that's something you can look at in the game. It's like, well, the referee didn't give them that. They put side out. And I'm like, LeBron might have gotten that continuation, is what we could say and stuff like that. So, all right, let's keep going. Nameless is saying, I think the Raptors could lead the league in rebounds this season. No cap. Yeah, I think this is very plausible. I mean, the makeup of our team does seem to kind of construe this, and plus having Koloko out there, another whole level of rebounding. I think you might be right. I'd love to see that. I really would. But I want to see our assist number go up this year too. That's a really important stat for us this year, I think, is assists. I want to see good amount of team assists every game. If we can get like 25 assists a game, that'd be fantastic because too many games last year we had under 20 assists or right around 20 assists. We need to get 25 at least assists. I really do believe in that. That the team play is what our growth and getting better will come from is from the offensive growth. The defensive stuff is there. We've seen it. We can win games just on defense and energy. Well, let's add some offensive efficiency this year and see how much better we can get on top of what we built last year. It's really going to come from the offensive side and being efficient and getting good assists off each other and stuff like that. Logical saying Champagnie can rebound like similar to a poor man's Rodman. He's interesting because he gets up there and really does get the balls for being shorter than most of the guys he's rebounding against. That is something I really do admire about him and stuff like that. Like he had a couple of rebounds in the last game that were actually really good because he was going against a tougher opponent, the guy who was bigger, and he got the ball from him. And some of it's just the tipping stuff that is very Rodman like. You know, he can just tip it, keep it alive, and then bat it over to somebody that's on his team. That's very Rodman like. Logical saying ref mafia, look out. Yes, the Philadelphia ref mafia. This is so true. I mean, this is just the damn truth. All the referees were from Philadelphia, New Jersey in the 80s and 90s in the NBA. And they wanted more, like they brought up their sons and brought them into it. It was very much a very organized crime feeling because it was like once you're in, and don't tell anybody about our secrets and that kind of shit. They were doing dirty shit and they were protecting each other, and there was nepotism. There's all kinds of like, you're my son, you will become a ref also someday and shit like that. But it's real fishy when like 30 to 50%, like a huge percentage of the referees in the NBA were all from one geographic location, right around the Philadelphia area in New Jersey. All like a huge amount of the refs were from there, and they were all knew each other, and they all kind of they literally called themselves like the ref mafia, and the way they hung out and acted and the way they were around places was very kind of like looking like that in some ways too. Now it's died out over the years. A lot of the old guard of those guys are gone, but they're not all gone. Ed Malloy's in that ref mafia. Yeah, he's from that area around down there. There's a few of them that are still around and still in the league. Scott Foster, he's another one. So that's what I'm saying. It's the younger refs are from such more diverse places that it can't be that way at this point. You know, we've got Giamidis, we've got Matt Kallio coming in, we got different people from different places. There's more diversity in the referees, and to a certain extent, you know, that it's breaking it down, but the power structure is still there, and the old guard is still there. And some of them are in like the jobs like Monty McCutcheon. That there's a whole bunch of old referees that are retired that are still involved in jobs, and they're all a part of that old power structure from before. But it's dying out and it's changing, it's transforming. And I like that this is happening. I don't like when all the referees are from Philadelphia. It looks real bad, NBA. And yeah, the more we look at how many of them there were throughout the history of the NBA and stuff like that, I understand. Maybe there's like a factory of referee factory around that area of the United States. But it's also it looked real bad. It looks bad. And also the behavior, some of the stuff I've heard that the referees were acting like and how they carried themselves and stuff like that. Very mafioso type. So the moniker fits. The moniker fits. Nameless is saying, nah, Mo, Boston is dope. They'll finish top 5 for sure. I'm not going to give away where I put them, but I will tell you guys tomorrow. I will definitely tell you guys tomorrow in the morning, stuff like that. Let's not give the Celtics too much love. I did say some nice things about them today. So Monique saying it was 50-50, cool cat, but getting better at times. Yeah, she thinks it was about 50-50 with the refs. I think it is getting better. We have more respect with them. I think Coach Nick Nurse gets respect from the referees, and I think a lot of our players do also in our organization as a whole. Way better than the 90s, even better than when Vince was here, better when Bosch was here, and probably even better than the Kyle and Dumars years. that the Raptors get more respect from the referees at this point, being NBA champions, and also just the way we run our organization. Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, they bring a certain class and status with them and with the way we are as a team that has some respect and credibility with the refs. And they probably do see the way our players run so much that we're full court pressing, we're running all out all the time. And they really are instructed by head office to reward the team that is playing the hardest and playing the best. So if we are the team that plays the hardest and plays the best, then we should win logically. And that is what I'm saying is like we have the kind of work ethic that we show night in and night out every night, and we don't have any dog at nights. The referees will reward us. That is what they're supposed to do, and we'll see it more and more. I hope so as we go. Logical saying, I believe Siakam is starting to get his respect with the refs. He really should. I mean, it could be commiserate with the money that people make and stuff like that, but he has not really gotten it totally. Like last year, he didn't get the respect totally, really. But I hope it changes this year. He's got another All NBA under his belt. And now maybe they will give him a little bit more superstar calls. I don't expect him to ever be a golden boy in the NBA. They will never, ever put him on blast in the media and say, this is one of the top stars in the NBA in the States, and put him in commercials like they do Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson and Ben Simmons and stuff like that. Some of those guys don't even deserve it yet. Pascal does. He should be getting that golden boy treatment, but he doesn't yet. And that sometimes is married into the whether the referees give him superstar treatment on the court. Does the NBA treat him like a golden boy? Are they in the advertising? Are they people like LeBron? That's the kind of thing you got to look at. So I hope he gets more respect this year. Maybe having a second All NBA will help him this season. We'll have to see. We'll pay close attention to it. Boston Sports saying, nameless, Tatum has sucked in all 3 preseason games he has played this year. I'm sure he'll be fine, but man, this hasn't been a good preseason for him at all. Jalen has really been the man for us. He's been y'all's leading scorer in most of y'all's preseason games I saw. But Jason Tatum actually played really well in the Montreal game, I thought, in the beginning. He was hitting everything right at the very beginning of the game, and he was annoying me. I was like, man, Tatum again, Tatum again. And then Derek White hitting all those threes, not missing and stuff like that. Y'all are really good at getting open threes. You guys really, really work the ball and pass out to the open three-point shooter in a way I wish we would more. Like the Raptors need to be better at finding the open three-point shooter, like the Celtics are. You guys are very good at that. Very, very good at that. So many corner threes wide open. Annoying. Very annoying. Logical saying, Brothers has changed with us now. Not going to lie. Maybe it was Lowry. Not going to lie. You know, Tony Brothers is a very specific, special case. He kind of is a lightning rod for the referees because he's the name that everybody talks about hating in the league. All the players hate Tony Brothers. The fans hate Tony Brothers. A lot of the players really do. Like, they're not happy when they see Tony Brothers as reffing. But you'd be surprised why. Tony Brothers has an ego. I've said this many times this season. He is very much like, you show me up on the court, well, I'm going to punish you. But if you comply and you listen to me and you're trying to work within my rules of the way I like to run my game, then you will be rewarded and I will look out for you. So he can really, like, I think what I was just talking about as far as with the respecting the energy, the output of like how hard you're working on the court, Tony Brothers will do that. He does respect hard work on the court. And so in some ways, he may favor us just because of our style of play and the way we get after it. So I don't think Tony Brothers is totally a horrible ref for us. It really is if we respect him and listen to him and get after it, he will take care of us and we'll be all right. But if you show him up, if you try and get in his face or talk anything back to him, he will punish you for it. He was the one who called that technical on Gary Trent Jr. last year for tapping his arm like this. All Gary did was do this. Well, Tony didn't like it, and he called a tech on him for that. That's what I'm saying. Don't show up Tony Brothers, and he'll look out for you and stuff like that. But he is on our top 10 worst list as far as worst refs towards the Raptors over the years. His win percentage for us is not good. Let's put it that way. Stuff like that. So yeah, he's a weird one. You can get good stuff out of him though at this point with the way we play though. That's the main thing I want to say here. CC saying, I'm curious to see if the refs will make a point to be more straight up fair this upcoming season post Donaghy post Doc release. Yeah. Well, they've had to. The Whistleblower podcast came out a couple of years ago. That is why they're being so transparent. And it is really good in a lot of ways. The 2 minute report is a great development. The replay center is a great development. The fact that they come over and do the challenges, they have challenges and they come and tell the people what happened on the microphone. These are all great developments as long as they don't slow the game down too much. That's one of the knocks I have on Tony Brothers. Him being one of the older refs, whenever they have to stop the play to review anything, he takes an extra 5 minutes compared to everybody else. I don't know why, but it really deadens the energy in the game. And it's almost like restarting the game all over again because he takes so fucking long with coaches' challenges and different things, kind of sorting them out. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's an older ref, but he does. Have you noticed that? Like him in particular, if there's any kind of stoppage, like, oh, we got to go review this, he goes and he'll watch that TV for like 2 or 3 minutes longer than the average ref. And that's annoying to me. I don't like that Tony stops this. There's so much stoppage with him sometimes, and he's just kind of chilling and doing things and watching cartoons, as I say. Let's see. But they're going to be way more transparent as much as possible. And I really do love that they hired Joe Dumars to be the head of the officials because he is such a good standing, honest, great person. Like I respect and love Joe Dumars so much. And that I know that he will do a good job being in charge of that. And he will make the referees look more and more on the up and up and the league look better as a whole because he has that kind of clout and credit that he is a good, upstanding person and an honorable person. So I'm really happy that Joe Dumars is there. And I'm also really happy that Kane Fitzgerald is going to be the head of the replay center this year because he's on my list for being a helpful ref, not a helpful ref, but like a okay, friendly ref towards the Raptors over the years. Kane is somebody who's not shown disdain for us, and he's actually looked out for us at times. So it's good that there's good people that are honorable in good places. And Kane Fitzgerald in the replay center is good. Joe Dumars being in charge is good also. Let's see. G saying, I tell Boston fans, Jalen is the more dependable player, and some of them lose it. I do that too. I agree with this. I absolutely agree with this. This is why, and maybe it's partly a Raptor fan trying to make waves, cause problems in Celtics Nation, stuff like that. But I've always believed in Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's the one that I like way more than Tatum. And I just believe he's just a better player. And I hate that Jason Tatum's number one on that team. In some ways, I feel like Jaylen Brown gets slighted and that he really is kind of like the dude that if I was a Boston fan, I'd want the team to build around him in some ways, in certain ways, and let him have his total shine and stuff like that. It's weird, that whole dynamic between the two of them on that team. They really do play together and like playing together, but there is also a friendly competition on the down low that kind of maybe elevates them and drives them to new levels because they have a peer that is so closely like as good as them, and that really does push people up. This is a similar thing I hope happens on our team with Precious and Scottie. That in some ways, Scottie sees Precious as like, this dude is just like me in a way because he's a stud and he has so much potential that we want to see them have maybe a healthy competition between each other within the team to be the best players that they can be because they can really push each other up like Tatum and Brown have in their career, that they push each other. Because like, oh, what's Jason doing? I want to be better than him. Jalen's like, okay, I'm going to carry weights at the bottom of a pool. I'm going to carry weights at the bottom of a pool. They're doing stuff like that to try and get an edge. So that internal competition between superstars is really good, really, really good. Monique's saying, agree. In reference to Siakam and the refs. Okay, logical Raptors freak, yeah. He's also saying facts, Mo. It's in part the change the way he attacks the rim and is looking to score every time and not call Hunt. Yeah, I think he has. I think Brothers has been better towards us and stuff like that. Cowboy's saying, good morning, everybody. Can't wait for the Cavs game. Right on, Cowboy. Ta-da. For your help around the house needs in the 416, call the brothers ta-da. Name was saying, I don't like Scottie barking at the refs. It's a bad look, but you made a good point about him maybe trying to carve out a spot of respect in the league. Not sure how I feel about it at all. Well, let's see if he gets text. Let's see if they actually say, all right, Scottie, you went too far. Because all he's doing right now is pleading his case. And he's just very emphatic. He's very like mannerisms and like very like, he's like that. And we see it on TV, and it maybe looks worse than what he's actually saying. He could be just saying like, "I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him," stuff like that, and stuff like that. So I don't know. He's got the right balance, but I want him to do it like in a way where he doesn't piss them off, and he hasn't pissed them off yet. Like we haven't seen him get any like weird texts or anything weird or anything like that recently. Since he's been doing more complaining like that. So, but we'll watch him. We'll have to watch him and see if he's effective, and maybe he will get calls because he's getting respect from that. Salute the Cowboy. Boston Sports is saying, what do you think the record will be after 7 games of the season for you guys against the Cavs, the Nets, Heat twice, Sixers, and Hawks? That's a fantastic question. I've been thinking about this a lot. Now, I hope we can just beat Cleveland because they don't have their shit together because they just got Donovan Mitchell. So I'll take a win for that one. I think we're going to beat the Nets too because the Nets are a mess. Come on, let's be serious about them. They're dumpster fire on the down low. Ben Simmons at center. Okay, you go ahead and play Ben Simmons at center against us on Friday night. And you just see how we eat him up like a little treat and stuff like that. Now, the Heat, we'll have 2 games against the Heat. So I'm going to say 2 wins against the first 2. We'll split the series with the Heat down south. So we'll have 3-1. And then Sixers will split also. So we'll be 4-2. And then with the Hawks, we'll beat them. So we'll be 5-2. So I'll predict that we'll be 5-2 at the end of October with our record in those 7 games. So there you go, Boston. I'm going to say 5-2 with a loss to the Sixers and a loss to the Heat because we're going to play them both twice. All right. What annoyed me most is that Boston game was Achua not blocking out on the free throw line. I counted twice that happened. Achua forgot the free throw was in one, and the point guard White puts in the layup. I saw that one time that looked really bad, and Jack said somebody fell asleep. Somebody fell asleep, and that was true. Yeah, that was really bad. That was really, really bad. I agree with you, Duke. I totally agree with you, but I don't think that that's going to happen very often. There were some weird things going on with those free throws. Like they were shooting them really weird. There was one that just sat on the rim and fell out, and all kinds of stuff. All right, Boston Sports, Celtics, baby. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to tell you guys where I think you guys are going to be next this year coming up. Duke Rocks, yeah, that was frustrating. Yeah, that was a lapse of concentration, that maybe, and White was just being an opportunist. G saying if they actually do the no superstar calls, the players' reactions will be priceless. I know, G. If this really is what we're gonna, just imagine what's gonna happen with LeBron this season. Like if they really do this, like there's levels to this. Like, will they do this to LeBron? Because he's the guy who's really kind of untouchable with the refs the most in the league, like Jordan used to be at this point. Will they throw LeBron out before the 4th quarter for any reason? I want to see this happen. I really, really want to do, because I like to know that the league is fair and that everybody gets treated exactly the same. So will you throw out LeBron if he's complaining too much or he does something with his arm or something like Jason Tatum did the other night? I want to see this, NBA. I'm seeing if y'all are going to be for real with this. No superstar calls this year. Throw out LeBron in the game. I want to see y'all do it this year and see if people freak out about it. Oh my gosh, it'd be so crazy. Let's see. Cowboys saying, I want what you're smoking, Boston Sports. It's good. It's green. Logical saying, Duke Rocks says it could have been a youngness thing where he was focusing on so much stuff and lost focus on the free throw line in time. Those mistakes don't happen, in my opinion. Yeah, it could be that I really think he was just daydreaming for a second and just like wasn't really thinking. It was also weird how he shot that free throw, the way they missed it. It was almost like they kind of planned that move. Like Marcus Smart was doing some funny things with free throws. Like there was one play where he missed on purpose and the guy ran in and got it and made a layup. I think those are partly plays that they make. Like he didn't miss it because he wanted to. I mean, that he didn't want to. He missed it on purpose, and he set up an extra point by somebody getting the offensive rebound off his free throw and laying it in, stuff like that. They will do that. They will do that. Trust me. Let's see. Monique saying Giants of Africa sending prayers to Dikembe. Yeah, I sad to hear the news about Dikembe Mutombo and Nate Robinson yesterday about some of the health issues that they're both dealing with at this point. Prayers to both. I hope both of you guys heal up and continue to do the things that you do in your lives. Dikembe in particular has been such a great humanitarian and diplomat, a literal diplomat. He has literally been a diplomat. He's had that role and job and occupation before. as a world leader and traveling around and speaking and stuff like that. So I hope everything works out with the things that you're going through right now, Dikembe. And same thing for Nate Robinson, who's dealing with a kidney problem right now himself. So let's see. Boston Sports saying, did you guys see Ben Simmons Friday? He fouled out in 13 minutes. I didn't even think that was possible. That's what you get when you play him at center. Y'all are crazy in Brooklyn. Y'all are denying reality in all kinds of different ways. Kevin's like, I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be here. Kyrie's like, the earth is flat. The earth is flat. The earth is flat. Ben Simmons is like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go outside. Steve Nash is like, I'm not really a coach. I'm not really a coach. They're denying so much reality. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Let's see. Where are we? Yeah, Mighty Mouse is head coach. I don't know why they didn't do that. It's like Damon's been around. He's done head coaching at Pacific in different spots. Maybe it's because he was a rookie of the year for the Raptors. They play in the Toronto Dominion Center. They don't want their head coach to be a former rookie of the year for the Raptors as a rookie. That may be part of why they're like, no, we can't make Damon the head coach. He was a Raptor legend. We can't do that. I wondered about that because he makes sense. He's the one they should have given the job to. I really think that. It's so crazy. Let's see. Duke's saying logical. I think with Achua, if he's not having a good game, his concentration and focus go out the window. At the time, his shooting was terrible. He did shoot really bad on Friday, but he had a really good game on Friday still. The aggression that he showed on the court was fantastic. And the big thing for me was his free throw shooting was fantastic. If he may not have been concentrating in the lane to block out Derek White, but he was definitely concentrating while he was at the line, taking the free throws, 10 of 13 on Friday night. That is fantastic. He got to the line a bunch. So he was a bad shooter. He missed all 7 of his threes, but his aggression going to the basket was fantastic in that game. So I give Achua a pass for a lot of what happened on that night because he did add to a lot of good stuff. Boston Sports is saying, Canadian Cowboy, big game tonight. I'll be watching the Cowboys versus the Eagles. It should be exciting. Micah Parsons is awesome. Yeah, I don't watch the NFL. I boycott it with because of Colin Kaepernick because they threw him out, and I don't agree with what happened. So I don't watch them. But yeah, that's a classic matchup, Cowboys and Eagles. I know Kyle Lowry and a lot of other people are going to be going for Philadelphia. That's right. You can't go for Jerry Jones and his bullshit. I'm going for the Eagles in this one, baby. Yeah, there you go. I'm more and more on Philly's side. I don't know why. Logical saying Duke rocks. Interesting. I haven't picked up on that. He's learned what he does with the athleticism and it's a coaching. Listen, I think that Precious sometimes just he loses concentration and stuff like that. This is something that everybody has to work on. Just like become more present and dialed in and stuff like that. It could be that he was looking up in the Montreal crowd at that moment and kind of like saw somebody in the crowd or something like that. And he's like, oh, what's going on over there with these Montreal people? And then, whoops, oh, there's Derek White. He just played in. Oh, crap. That looked bad. I'm sure he heard about it in the tape session afterwards. They probably did talk to him about that for sure. Let's see. G saying that play Tatum has holding him so he couldn't take the shot until the whistle blew and Tatum let go. This should be another change in the rules. Holding players in the air or ground should be a free throw. Yeah, they're going to try and call that kind of stuff. All kinds of things like that. I hope for real. Seriously. All right, let me keep going. G saying Simmons will score 2 points with 10 assists, and he's still talking about Fred scores 13 with 7 in limited time. Other players and crickets. All right, and I'm just gonna read a couple more, and I really want to get into these rankings that I made for you guys. They're really, really interesting. So, yeah, we're talking a lot about the Boston game. I'm gonna get back to this, guys, and I'm gonna do the content now that I want to do real quick, real fast, because there's a lot of comments here. All right, so basically, what I did, guys, is I went and looked at all the winning percentages for the Raptors under all of the referees that are active in the NBA at this point. And I looked at it and I put them in rankings with their experience. So I'm going to kind of be going over rankings as far as like how long they've been in the league and what our win percentage is. Now, I'll start it out with 10 referees that we should absolutely love as Raptor fans. These are referees that we have won more our share under them reffing. We've had really good win percentages. And some of the older refs that we have these win percentages on have been reffing the whole time the Raptors have been in existence. So it really kind of shows that they may have been good to us at different periods of time, even when we were really shitty and stuff like that. But the number one ref that we should love is our own Canadian ref that we just saw in Edmonton, Matt Kallio. We have won every single game that he has ever refed for us in the NBA. I think it's like 4 though. It's not a whole lot of games, but it's still, we are perfect with him. He's the first ever full-time NBA ref that is Canadian. And we're proud of you, Matt Kallio, that you got bumped up this year. So we celebrate you as the number one ref in the league for the Raptors. We're perfect record under you, and you are Canadian, sir. Our second best ref in the league to me is Jason Goldenberg. If you see Goldenberg's name in the ref list, that is golden for the Raptors. We have a 87.5% win percentage under 7-year referee Jason Goldenberg. But think about that. He's only been refereeing in the 7 years that the Raptors, like in the last 7 years with the Raptors. Well, there's this Tampa year. But other than that, that's all very excellent years. But we still won 87.5% of our games over the last 7 years when Jason Goldenberg is refereeing. That is an incredibly high win percentage, higher than our win percentage the last couple years. If you collectively look at the average. So thank you, Jason Goldenberg. You see him on the list. That's a good ref. That's a good ref for us to have. Number 3 is Danielle Scott. She is a young ref, only 3 years, but 3 out of 4 games we play with her refereeing, we win. And that may actually be what we've done. We've had 4 games ref by her, and we've won 3 of them. So, she's been friendly to us as a young female ref in the league, Danielle Scott. Usually, if you see the name Scott, it can mean good or bad. There's 2 Scotts that are bad for us, and then there's 2 Scotts that are good for us. Danielle Scott is one of the Scotts that's good for us. The other Scotts, I'll tell you who they are in just a sec. Number 4 on the good refs is Diedrich Taylor. He is a 10-year ref, so he's like a middle experienced ref with 73.5%. So since 2012, this guy's been refereeing, and we've won 73.5% of our games when Diedrich Taylor's on the court. Now, if we see the name Taylor, the last name Taylor, that is meaning we've got a ref that has been friendly to us. Both the Taylors are 2 of the nicest refs to us, Diedrich and Ben Taylor. They're both been very, very good to us and stuff like that. In fact, Ben Taylor is the next ref on the refs that we should love list. 68.8% wins, 12 years as a ref. That pretty much covers the Kyle Lowry, the 2010 to now. Ben Taylor's been fantastic for us. So if you see Ben or Diedrich Taylor in the referee list, that is usually good for the Raptors. These guys have been very fair to us, and we usually win. The referee that is married to another referee is very nice to us, Lauren Holtkamp Sterling. Jonathan Sterling's wife is 68.2% win percentage. She is a 10-year ref also. So very similar to Diedrich Taylor. She's a great ref for us to see on the court if we have her. JT Orr is the next ref. He's a 14-year ref that we win a 66.7% of our games under. JT Orr. We had him quite a few times last year, and we usually won when he's around. Now, these middle experienced refs that have like around 10 to 15 years in the league, when we have these high percentages with them, that really means a lot. But it also shows this has been our excellence time period where we have been one of the most winning teams in the league over the last 10 years with like Golden State and San Antonio and the Clippers. So that's part of it. But also, it's good to see them against their peers and seeing how they rank against each other and stuff like that. The next name on the list at number 8 is Sean Wright. We win 58.5% of our games, but he's an 18-year ref. That means like for 18 years, we've won almost 60% of our games when he's refereeing. And that factors in the bad Chris Bosh years. It factors in the Tampa year and stuff like that. So on the up and up with that guy, we like having anybody named Sean. Let's just say it that way. We had Sean Corbin the other night in Montreal. He's also a friendly ref to us from like a long time because Sean Corbin has been a referee for like 28 years, and he is actually a friendly ref to us. So if you see the name Taylor or the name Sean. These are good names to see in the ref crew for the Raptors when we play games and stuff like that. The last two refs on my top 10 of refs we should love. Number 9 is Bill Kennedy. Bill Kennedy is that the ref with a really nice voice and demeanor on the microphone when he's doing the challenges. He's been in the league for 25 years, and we have a 56.6 win percentage. This means Bill Kennedy was around in the very beginning of the Raptors, not right at the beginning, but for most of the Raptors. And we had a good winning percentage even when we were shitty way back then and stuff like that. So Bill Kennedy's been a friend to the Raptors for a quarter of a decade, a quarter of a century. So thank you, Bill Kennedy. He is actually the most experienced ref in the league that we have the best winning percentage under. So Bill Kennedy literally is our favorite senior ref in the league. And also another thing about Bill Kennedy that you guys may not know is that Bill Kennedy was a victim of slurs by some of the players one game. They called him the F word. They called him, the gay slur. And you know what? After that, he came out, and he is actually out of the closet at this point. And he was like, "Yeah, you called me that. Well, I am gay and stuff like that." And they made a big to do about it. And he is a very much an advocate for being out and being gay and being everything. I don't think you guys knew that about Bill Kennedy, that he's actually out of the closet. He is gay, and he was attacked by players in the game a few years ago. Like, I don't know how long ago. And that's when he came out. He's like, "Well, you're calling me that. Well, I am actually gay. And I don't like that you're using a gay slur against me," and stuff like that. So there was some news story about that. I don't know if everybody knew that Bill Kennedy is gay. The last referee on my top 10 is Leon Wood, former player Leon Wood. He's a 28-year ref, so he is absolutely refed every single year the Raptors have been in existence, and our win percentage under him is 56%. That's fantastic, considering just how bad we were and how much we lost early in the in the team's history. So there's your top 10. These are the top 10 refs for the Raptors. Matt Kallio, Jason Goldenberg, Danielle Scott, Diedrich Taylor, Ben Taylor, Lauren Holtkamp Sterling, JT Orr, Sean Wright, Bill Kennedy, and Leon Wood. Those are the guys we like, the ladies and guys we like to see refereeing our game. Now let's do the guys and the ladies we don't like seeing. These are the worst refs for the Raptors, the worst ever, the worst top 10. Number 1 on the list is Scott Foster. And I'm going to tell you that part of the reason why is I'm factoring this in is because of his tarnished legacy and his reputation and who he is and stuff like that. He's bad for the league, but he has also been bad for the Raptors historically. This is very much true that we win 43.6% of our games when he's refereeing. He's been a 29-year ref, so he's ref the whole time we've been around. Now, I told you earlier, our career record for our team franchise is 48%. So he's 5% lower than our career percentage. And that is like showing that he has helped us lose more than win over his career. So Scott Foster is absolutely a referee we should hate to see and somebody that we should not like to see. He is kind of similar to Tony Brothers, that if you slight him or you show him up, he will punish you. Same kind of thing, that he wants you to respect him. And if you show him up in any kind of way, he will get you back. So there's a similar thing with him and Tony Brothers. Now, the thing about Scott Foster I don't like is I've seen him railroad people. We've seen him do it to Chris Paul blatantly. He will railroad teams to lose and different things. I've seen him railroad us to a loss against the Celtics in the last year. He is not a good ref for us, and he will not help us. So fuck Scott Foster. Fire him. He should be out of the league, NBA. Get him the fuck out of here. He is friends with Donaghy. He was doing the shit with him. So get him out of there. He's number 1 on the list. Number 2 on the list is Courtney Kirkland, guys. You guys know Courtney Kirkland. He's always smiling. He's kind of like he's kind of got a delivery where he's kind of like condescending. You can tell he's kind of an asshole. Well, he is. He's the worst percentage ref out of all the senior refs for us. We have the worst winning percentage under him. It's worse than Scott Foster. It's 43.3%. He's a 24-year ref. And Courtney Kirkland, kids, I can specifically say he is the one we do not want to see when he's refereeing the Raptors game. He is the one we really, really don't want to see because we really do lose the most when he's around. So Courtney Kirkland is somebody we don't like necessarily. I'm going to say right now, if we see the name Washington in one of the refs, that is not good. Tom Washington is the third worst ref for us. He's a 32-year ref. He's been in the league for 32 years. He's the most senior ref in the league, and we've won 43.6%, same as Scott Foster. These senior refs, we do have losing records with all of them, and it is partly because of what I said. We were an expansion Raptors team in the 90s, and they were reffing then, but it also doesn't counterbalance with all the winning we've done since. That they really are part of what's pulled us down is these long-standing refs, and some of these refs are referee mafia. Like I was saying earlier, that Scott Foster is very much. I'm pretty sure Tom Washington is also. Derek Collins is number 4 on the list, 43.4% winning. That's even worse than those guys, with Courtney Kirkland being just ahead of him, 23-year ref. So if you see Derek Collins, that's not necessarily a friendly ref to us. Number 5 on the list is the very famous Ed Malloy. Ed Malloy is definitely a bad ref for the Raptors. I've seen him railroad us to losses and make very questionable calls, very calls against us. He favors the Celtics. If you see Ed Malloy reffing a game with the Celtics involved, he will help them. He will help them. He has connections and ties to the Boston area, and he will help the Celtics win games. In fact, I poo-pooed some of what the Celtics did last year because I knew the referees actually handed them a couple games. They handed one against us in particular by calling things in. It was Ed Malloy was doing this in the game. If you get Ed Malloy and Scott Foster in the same game, that is big trouble. That means that's an NBA hit job about to happen. If you see Scott Foster and Ed Malloy in the same ref crew in the same night, yeah, that's a big fucking problem. That means they're going to railroad somebody to lose by the end of the game because they're coming there for a purpose. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, Ed Malloy, and then 6 is Tony Brothers. That's right. That's where Tony Brothers is on this list. Now, we just talked about him a lot, and I said he can be a friendly ref to us. It's just we have to show him respect and listen to him, and maybe let the other team be knuckleheads and piss him off more, because he will draw his ire. Whoever draws his ire the most, he will punish. So we are good citizens and we do what he says and respect him. He will help us out, and he'll probably punish the other team. So it's really, you don't want to be the team that pisses him off first, is really kind of the way it goes with Tony Brothers, because he will go either way. He will fuck up either team. It depends on who pisses him off. Now, Scott Foster and Ed Malloy, they will come into a game with a mindset of we're going to fuck over this team before the game even starts. That's the difference. Tony Brothers will fuck you over during the game because he just decided to. Well, these guys will actually premeditate. We're coming in to fuck up the Raptors' chances to win in the TD Garden in Boston tonight. They will. Seriously, I see it in them. And I know they do that shit because they can point shave. Just like Tim Donaghy said, those guys said, they can manipulate the points at the end. And this is why I always say the Raptors need to have a double-digit lead late in games so that they can't have any little ref manipulation bullshit happening at the end of the game. If they can manipulate it within 7 points, we'll get 10 points and be clear of it and stay with that 10-point cushion, because they will try and railroad you to a loss if they can, if they want you to lose, or the NBA saying we want the Raptors to lose to the Celtics in this game, they will try and get you. That's why you have to be that much better, Raptors. You have to get that double-digit lead so that the refs can't fuck with you on it. I've been saying this for a decade now. Get that double-digit lead so the refs can't screw us over. I said it way back in the day with Dumars and Kyle. I'm saying it still today because it's true. It's very true. All right, let's keep going. The next referee is Rodney Mott. I thought Rodney Mott was a pretty good ref to us at times. He's kind of similar to Tony Brothers. He's more understated, but we have a bad win percentage under him. He's a 26-year ref, and we've won 45.6% of our games when he's refereeing. That is not very good overall, but he's somebody that I don't mind at times. I don't get upset when I see Rodney Mott, but also understand we've lost more when he referees. Let's see. The next ref is Marat Kugat. We actually have only won 39% of our games when he referees, and he's been refereeing for 14 years. That is a horrible percentage. Think about this. Marat Kugat has been refereeing since 2008. And that means that he pretty much has been refereeing the whole really good period of time. and we still have a 39% win percentage when he refs. That is really, really bad. So Kugat is someone we really don't want to see. Like, that is crazy that we have such a bad win percentage when in this period of bountiful Raptors winning that we've done in the last 10 years or so. 39% when he's there. That's not good. Next is CJ Washington. He's the younger Washington ref. He's a 9-year ref, and we win 37.5% of the games. This is over the last 9 years of Raptors basketball. We only win 37.5% of our games when this dude is reffing. That is not good. That is not good at all. So CJ Washington, Tom Washington, you don't like to see a Washington refereeing the game if you're a Raptor fan. And then the last person on the 10 referees we should load list is Danica Mosier. She is a 3-year ref, and we have never, ever won a game when she's refereed. We have a 0 win percentage in 3 years of her refereeing in the league. I think we've lost like 4 games that she's refereed. Every single time she refs, we've lost. So that's kind of a breakdown of 10 refs we should love and 10 referees we should loathe. And the names that you thought would be on the loathe list are there. Scott Foster, Ed Malloy, Tony Brothers. Yes, they're all right there on the list to loathe. Yeah, that's right. Now, I did a couple little bit of breakdowns and stuff like that, like by age, like how long they've been in the league and stuff. Like I said, Danica Mosier is the youngest ref that has been the most unkind to us. But there's a couple other young refs that have not been good to us, refs that have under 5 years experience. Danica, 0%. John Butler, only 20% of our games we win, and he's been a ref for 5 years. Simone Jelks is another young ref that we have not done well under. We win a quarter of our games, 25% of our games. She's in the league 4 years now. Brandon Schwab, who we saw in preseason, is actually a bad young ref for us. 25% of our games we win. And then Suyesh Mehta is another young ref that we don't necessarily do well on average against when they're refereeing. And then the 5 to 15-year refs that are kind of like not good for us also. CJ Washington is at the top of the list with Marat Kugat, but also Scott Twardowski, John Goebel, and Brett Bernanke. These guys are all like 14, 15-year refs, and we have mostly a losing winning percentage under those guys and stuff like that. And the next list is 5 young refs that we should love, that we have our best win percentage under. Matt Kallio, 100%. Danielle Scott, 75%. Number 3 on this list is Evan Scott, the young ref that Nick Nurse was manipulating and kind of bullying last year. We actually have a really good win percentage when Evan Scott is refereeing, 63.6%. Robert Hussey's another young ref we like. John Conley, and Andy Nagy, Musa Dagger, Ashley Moyer-Glesh, and Natalie Sago and Jenna Schroeder. Now, those 4 last names, Musa Dagger, Ashley Moyer-Glesh, Natalie Sago, and Jenna Schroeder, they're all actually 50% win percentage. That's a crazy thing. Natalie Sago, we've won half the games we played when she referees. So we win and lose halfway. They're 50% win percentage, those 4 refs. They're the ones right down the middle. Those 4, and 3 of them are ladies, and then there's Musa Dagur, and they're all right. Then 5 to 10-year experienced refs that we like that have been pretty good to us are Jason Goldenberg, as I said earlier, 87.5% win percentage. Brandon Adair, Nate Green, who we saw in the last game, he's actually a friendly ref to us as a young ref. Matt Myers, Aaron Smith, JB DeRosa, Fenezi Ransom, Jonathan Sterling, Jason Goebel, and Ray Acosta. Those are all refs that are kind of mid-level experience, 5 to 10-year experience that have been fairly good to us. There's a lot of refs that have been good to us. The refs that have been really bad to us are those old refs, are those refs from when, and that really is the expansion years that kind of hurt that and stuff like that. They've been around for when we've been really bad. So 9 to 13-year refs that we like: Dedrick Taylor, Tyler Ford, Ben Taylor, Lauren Holtkamp Sterling, Brett Nansel, Giamidis Petratus. We have a 64.5 win percentage under Giamidis. Really good to see him the other night. Trey Maddox, Carl Lane, Mitchell Irvin, who's the Drake fan, Kevin Scott, and Justin Van Doon. Those are kind of the mid more another level of experience. And then the 14 to 18-year refs that we kind of like: JT Orr, Nick Bouchard, Eric Dallin, Josh Tiven, Curtis Blair, Kane Fitzgerald, Brian Forte, Mark Lindsay, Kevin Cutler, and James Williams. Those guys that we all have winning records under. And then the 18, the senior refs that we really like, talking about Bill Kennedy and stuff like that: Sean Wright, 18-year ref, 58.5 win percentage. Bill Kennedy, Leon Wood, Sean Corbin. So if their first name is Sean, they're a good ref for us: Sean Wright and Sean Corbin. Scott Wall, Zach Zarba, Mark Davis, Derek Richardson, Eric Lewis, David Guthrie, and Matt Boland. Now, see, Zach Zarba and Mark Davis are in this category. They're actually positive refs towards us. Zach Zarba has been a good ref for us for many, 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 many years, but he's turned on us a little more recently. Like, I paid attention to him real close. He railroaded us in a game last year that we lost. I think it might have been that Cleveland game or one of the games, the game where we lost by 1 point at the end of the game. Zach Zarba actually lost us a game last year. I paid attention and saw him do it. So he's been good to us in the past, but maybe, that's the thing. They balance things out. The head office sees the win percentages. And even though I say that these guys have been good for us, it could be that they're in their minds, well, maybe I need to balance my win percentage with the Raptors out a little bit more and give them a couple of losses. And it may be in the reverse. Like, somebody says, oh, the Raptors don't win as much underneath me. Maybe they're like, it's not that they're premeditating thinking this, I don't think. But in some ways, the optics of looking at the stats, like we've been saying, logical saying, they're looking at everything, they're scrutinizing everything. They could come and look at Jason Goldenberg's record with the Raptors and say, why do the Raptors win so much under you? You've been in the league for 7 years, and they've won like 90% of their games when you referee. They may worry about that. So I wonder if even though they have a high percentage we win under, maybe they try and balance it. And that may not be totally a good indicator of whether they'll be good in the future. It shows that they're good in the past, but it could be that they're trying to balance it out and stuff like that. So that's what I'll say with that. But Mark Davis is kind of the opposite. Zach Zarba looked good to us and was helping us, and he's kind of flipped. And in some games I've seen him hurt us, as I said, but Mark Davis has definitely hurt us in the past. We lost that game in Sacramento that one year single-handedly because of him. And they showed that he made a mistake, and they said we should have done the other way. So maybe he's been on a goodwill tour since. Then Mark Davis may actually give us more favor because he screwed up that game in Sacramento a couple years ago in some ways. It's like, it's the Raptors, and I don't want to look like I'm actually out to get them because of the way I treated them in Sacramento that night. So maybe I'll give them the favor if it's a down-the-line call. It's 50-50. Well, I'm going to go with the Raptors just because I don't want to look like I hate the Raptors and I'm going against them and stuff like that. So Mark Davis has kind of overcorrected for his mistake in Sacramento and been like overly showing that he's very fair with the Raptors. And that has actually made we have a better winning percentage under him since and stuff like that. Now the 10, there's 11 refs that are senior refs that aren't good to us. The names are Courtney Kirkland, Derek Collins, Tom Washington, Scott Foster, Ed Malloy, Rodney Mott, Tony Brothers, Benny Adams, Pat Frayer, Michael Smith, and James Capers Jr. And these are really senior guys. These are the dudes that are in the referee mafia at this point, a lot of them. So basically, this is kind of my referee report. We have certain refs that, are friendly to us. It really is a relationship kind of thing between the players, the teams, and the refs. Some of them are good relationships. Some of them are very bad relationships. Chris Paul and Scott Foster. So that's the thing. If the Raptors can have good relationships with more and more of the refs, this has kind of been a campaign by them this summer. Chris Boucher has said it. Scottie said it in his Twitch. Nick Nurse has said it at different places. They want to be getting more favor with the refs. They say, we love you, refs. You guys are awesome. You're doing a good job. And the Raptors want to listen to you and work with you. We do not want to be a problem for y'all. We want to listen to you and show that we respect y'all. And hopefully y'all will respect us with the whistle this year. Precious said it the other day, and he got results on Friday night. He said it in the interview, said, I hope that I get more calls. And boom, they gave him more calls on Friday night. So that's what we want to see, goodwill between the referees and the Raptors. We can look at these numbers that I just talked about today. That's the past. Let's give them a chance going forward. But no, NBA referees, that the Raptors fan base is very much more astute and knowledgeable about basketball. And that some of the stuff y'all could do to screw us over in the past, you can't get away with at this point because we'll call you out on it. And we'll say, yeah, you can't do that kind of shit. Shaving points from us, like literally shaving points from us in different ways and stuff like that. Nah, we're more astute. We're on to y'all. And we want y'all to just do the job the way it's supposed to be: fair, balanced, and consistent at both ends of the court. If you do that, we will like I said, I will champion this league and say, you know what? The NBA is the most fairly officiated league in all of professional sports because we know, because they're so scrutinized. We have all the information. We can look and see what these guys are doing, and we trust them because we see it. The game has integrity again. And this is the whole most important thing the referees need is integrity. And when we don't feel like they have integrity because of people like Tim Donaghy and Scott Foster, then it's hard to feel that way about that the league is good or it's important. That's why they put people like Joe Dumars in charge, because they need to instill that we can trust this man's honorable and that he will have people working for him the right way there. So that's kind of my synopsis. Let's have a good relationship with the refs this year and keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys are smart in the way you're approaching this, Nick and Chris and Scottie and Precious. Keep doing this kind of stuff. Freddie, same kind of thing. You know, just get a good relationship with them. Get a good rapport on the court where you can talk to them in an effective, communicative way that doesn't piss them off. And maybe we get more favor because we are listening. Because that's a big thing. It's important in this world to listen. And if you don't look like you're listening to the ref, they may be like pissed off at you. Let's let knuckleheads on other NBA franchises step in that shit. We don't need to be those ones. We're smart. We're intelligent. We want to work with them. We want to win. Well, let's grease the wheels and let's talk to the refs and get in good favor with them. That's basically my ref report, y'all. The old senior refs, they're bad for us. They have been for a long time. But this is the thing. They reward energy and hustle and good play. So as long as we're doing the right things on the court, they'll reward us and stuff like that. I love it. All right, let me get back to y'all's comments. I just want to make sure I got the content in at least really quickly. And this was basically the most of it. If you guys have any questions, I'm sure you'll put them in the comments and stuff like that. We can talk about it more and stuff like that. All right, Nameless is saying, Boston, don't worry about Tatum. He doesn't care at all. And he's not training and preparing how he would normally in season, I promise, whether that's sleeping, eating, or training. Nameless, I don't know if you're trying to be funny or you're actually trying to be helpful to Boston there. I don't know. I don't care what happens with Jason Tatum. I'm like, seriously, it's crazy. Duke Rocks is saying, Lex, in regards to the condensation on the floor from the ice may not have been the fact. In the post-game presser, the Celtics put the blame on the young kids not cleaning the floor. Well, that's where the moisture comes from. Is the ice is underneath the court, and if they don't have the right layering of they have to put stuff over the ice to make sure that the water is it's not melting up into the court. That really is where the condensation comes from. Now, maybe the kids weren't effectively doing it. Maybe they were like, ooh, put some elbow grease into it, youngsters. Get down in there like Grant Williams and get into it. Really get that up there. You know, maybe that was what they had ineffective fluffers or scrubbers or whatever they fucking call them, that they needed to just be better at it. But that was definitely the source of the condensation was from the hockey rink for sure. But yeah, those kids, they should have been doing a better job. You guys go out there and scrub. Or you think it's because they fell on the floor and that stuff? Like, no, because there was nobody falling in certain areas of the floor where it was slippery, which was out near the 3-point line where Marcus Smart did his little split. That it really is very much the hockey arena that causes the wetness. Logical saying Duke Rocks, for example, the Heat tried to turn him into Bam and didn't understand his true potential. And now using the different development coaches like our big man coach, Jamal McGlure, I understand. I'm trying to figure out where you guys, I know I stopped talking, reading the comments for a sec to do my stuff. I'll catch up on all this stuff and things like that. Hey, Mason Culligan, good morning to you, Raptor Freak. Mason Culligan. G saying, smart sweat while flopping on the floor may have contributed more than the kids not cleaning the floor. Maybe. I don't know. That could be. I still think it's the hockey arena. You guys got to realize they don't have basketball in that arena very much. And the conversions group may not have to convert to a basketball court very often. And they may not have very much experience switching it and making sure it's safe. The dudes that do it at the Scotiabank Arena have been there forever and they're really good at it. And this has been a huge problem in the NBA because we so many teams share arenas with NHL teams that this is common. This was way more common, but in the established arenas that deal with this conversion all the time, from going from hockey to basketball all the time, they're really good at it. And they have ways of testing and making sure that the floor is not wet. Well, in arenas like Edmonton and Montreal, they don't have to deal with the basketball court very often, and they don't necessarily. The conversions crew don't necessarily have the same experience in making sure that they do it a certain way to make sure, because part of it has to do with temperature of the building, part of it has to do with like when they do it and how they seal it and stuff like that. And if they don't do it properly, the floor will get wet just from the hockey ice and stuff like that. And it really does take like knowing the process and doing it over and over again, like our crew does here at the Scottie Bank Arena. Well, Bell Center crew, how many times have they had to set up a basketball court in the last 10 years? I don't know, but it's way less than our crew here and stuff like that. So let's see. Fanatic saying, Precious way more working and everything into that center training, and Jamal understands the way we play. You guys are talking about Jamal working with Precious Achua on his big man skills. You know, the people that are really working with Precious is Kem Birch. Kem Birch and Precious became best friends when Precious came to the team. And in fact, Kem is mentoring Precious very much like Fred is mentoring Malachi. I don't know if you guys know this, that like they're very close friends, Kem Birch and Precious, and he's teaching him a lot of his defensive big man stuff. I know Jamal McGlure's working with them and doing stuff like that too, but it is Kem who's actually the biggest influence on Precious and him developing into becoming a center. This is another reason why all these knuckleheads that want Kem Birch traded need to shut the fuck up, because Kem's a great defensive center and he's teaching it to young guys like Precious Achua and Christian Koloko now that he's on the team also. So it's Kem. You got to give credit to Kem, actually. Let's see. Duke is saying it was only that one spot people slipped. And if you remember, Smart flopped on Koloko's sixth foul. The very next play, he slipped on his own sweat from the flop. Call it karma. Well, I saw Delano slip in the lane too. Like there wasn't just one spot on the floor where it was wet, and it switched sides too. There was wetness on the other side of the court. I don't know. I don't want to argue about this. This is always the case. Like the sweat isn't going to do that much. Maybe they weren't being as vigilant and wiping the floor, but it was definitely had to do with the hockey ice. It really, really does. That's funny. Call it karma. Duke Rocks is saying, logical, as a fan, I can see his potential, but athleticism is one thing. But IQ and mental maturity, depending on an individual, can take time. I fully agree with youth, but not blocking out free throws is a first. Listen, everybody's not going to be completely perfect all the time. And like I said, the Celtics were doing something a little weird with their free throws, like missing on purpose and trying to get extra points off crashing the lane to get that rebound really fast. Precious is like, look, he's young and like I think he has all the potential in the world, and he may have concentration problems from time to time, but I think that he's okay. I think he's going to be fine. And the thing is, he cares. And you know what? He may never do that ever again in his whole entire career after that. That may be like the one time, and he learns. He's like, okay, I can't ever do that again. I look so bad letting that little guy just run in and lay it in. So let's see if it happens more often, because I don't see him do this very often where he misses a box out on the free throw lane. And I agree, this is a very fundamental thing that cannot happen. It's a lapse in judgment. But it may very well be that it was a very, very singular moment that is not a part of a pattern or anything. It's just one moment where he's like, oh, Tom Duke is saying, Tom Dookie. Tony Brothers has refereed 1,466 regular season games over 25 seasons. That is a lot of basketball. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, you got to respect him because of the longevity of his career. But it is true. If they did a poll with all the NBA players, which ref they hate the most, he's number one. They hate Tony Brothers the most. The players do. They really do. And I think it's what I was describing about him a couple times already on the stream, is that he likes to throw his weight around and like he doesn't take no crap. So yeah, he's the most hated ref in the league by the players. They take a poll, he's number one. Monique saying LeBron flop in the playoffs against us. Wake up, refs. Shaking my head. It reminds me again, refs versus Raptors. Well, we want to change that. Like we don't want to be 5 versus 8. If we can have them be fair or even like kind of slightly on our side, let's go for that. We can open our mind to the possibility the refs aren't out to get us and that they could actually help us. Maybe it'll happen more often. We'll see that more and stuff like that. So, Logical saying Duke rocks. Facts. We have great leaders and coaches, and now more vets for that purpose. Future video coming on it, but it's going to take more groundwork. Okay, Logical. Been busy lately checking Raps content, but I'll come check your uploads soon. Good stuff. Logical saying NBA knowledge and experience in a certain role is valuable to a young player needing to learn the IQ stuff of the position and the guys in the league at that position and how to defend them. No worries. Most of my stuff is timeless and valid, even from the summer. I hit on a lot of stuff that got confirmed, so it's valid. All right, let's keep going. Duke is saying I should be getting more time on my hands. Definitely pay you a visit. Okay, good. Jimmy Pope's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak. Jimmy Pope. I'm amped for opening night. A lot of us are. It's like, but it's nice that we have this little bit of break. Scottie was on Twitch again yesterday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I should have known he would be on because this is a dead period. This is a rest period. They're in town. They came back from Montreal right away, and he's just going to be here in Toronto hanging out, getting ready for this game on Wednesday. They don't have to travel or anything. So I fully expect we need to be on Twitch watch because he got on yesterday in the middle afternoon. I was out with my dad for his birthday, so I didn't see it. But he labeled it as saying he was opening up packs on 2K23 and that he was playing my team, which is very intriguing. That is he playing the Raptors on my team? I hope so. I don't know. If anybody was in the Twitch stream with Scottie yesterday afternoon, please tell me what happened there. I keep missing him. I missed him twice this week, and it really is because I'm busier. And he's going on at weird times. They're at different times these days. But I expect him to be on either today or tomorrow, maybe even Tuesday. So Twitch Watch is in effect for Twitch family. Be ready. He's going to be going online, I'll bet you, probably tonight or maybe this afternoon. All right, let's see. Mason Culligan saying Koloko is a great piece of the puzzle for us. I know it's just a preseason, but I just have a good feeling about Christian. He looked locked in on both sides of the court. He has pretty good speed too. For his height, the speed combination is deadly. Like seriously, that breakaway dunk that he had, I want to see more of that. And I don't see why he can't do that more. He really is going to be coming into our rotation quickly this as a rookie. He's not going to be a project. I can tell. I was worried that, yeah, you give him some time. He's going to need a project. He's going to need a year or two. I don't think he will, though. He's advanced, and it's really, really actually a luxury and not common with big men that are over 7 feet. That normally, like Jonas took like 5-6 years to develop into being a really solid center. Jonas Valanciunas. This is not going to happen, Koloko. It's going to be right away. He's ready, and he can do more and more quickly. And it's a combination of his athleticism that he's so tall and quick, and his motor, and then like Nick Nurse said, he has a high basketball IQ. He's a sponge. He wants to soak it all up. The sky's the limit, and he really is contributing in huge ways to the team already that make it like we need to play him. So yeah, this is fantastic stuff, Mason. I love this so much that we're going to be able to depend on hopefully our second round pick from this last draft to actually be a huge contributor to our regular rotation this year. He is going to definitely be playing for us and be doing great things. I love it too. It's so awesome. He's a great piece of the puzzle, as you put it. Logical saying, Duke rocks, respect. I see you drop truth bomb on Locked on Rap. Okay, once again, Logical, you're going in other directions. You're talking about other channels. You're talking about other stuff. I don't like this diversions you bring into my chat. We should stay on topic. You want to talk about your content for a sec, I can talk about it. But I don't like where you're talking about Philly content. You're talking about seeing Duke on other things and stuff like that. Really, try and rein it in, bro. Stay on subject and stay with me and stuff like that, please. Alistair saying Chief versus Bills. That'll be a good game. Jared Allen versus the Chiefs. Go Buffalo. I got to go for Buffalo. Praise to no. Let's see. Omari Parsons saying, laugh out loud. I don't want to go outside. You're wrong, Lex. You don't want to go outside. I gotta figure out what you mean by that. Boston Sports is saying they just came out with a report, Raptors Freak, that Kyrie is definitely gone at the end of the year and wants to go to the Lakers. Not a good look for the Nets this year. Yeah, two of their three main superstars don't want to be there. Kevin doesn't want to be there any either. It's like they had to do this forced tour of like we're okay. They're like trying to put out a goodwill tour and all this bullshit, trying to make people convinced that they're okay and they're happy to be together and stuff like that. If you were okay, you wouldn't need to go on a publicity tour to try and tell everyone that. Like go to a park and show Ben Simmons shooting air balls and like say, "Oh no, we're all happy. We're out on the street" and stuff like that. Or even like them like going to dinner and showing themselves sitting around a table palling around. That looks so forced and staged and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, and I can see Kyrie needs to get traded for Russell tomorrow. They need to make that deal just happen. No matter what. Lakers don't need to be stingy. They both need to help each other. And even Russell with Kevin Durant on the Nets. That's hilarious. Russell with Ben Simmons. That'll be funny. Maybe that's why it won't work. I don't know. They're too much problems in too many places. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants Kyrie. Nobody wants Russell. So they're just stuck in their own little dumpster fires. And as a Boston fan, as a Raptor fan, we can laugh and look at those situations, be like, yeah, this is awesome. Omari's saying Precious has horrible body language when it's not going his way. In my opinion, he needs to grow up quicker. I don't see this, guys. I've just seen such a positive light around Precious. I don't see him getting frustrated. I don't see him getting upset. And when things are not going his way, I don't see this. He's so happy-go-lucky to me. Maybe I'm seeing you guys are seeing something that I'm not seeing, Omari. But I think Precious is just a great teammate, and he's positive, and he's not trying to be selfish. And I just don't see it. I don't get what you're seeing. Who knows? It may be something I didn't see. I don't know. All right, let's see. Because he's so happy right now. Precious is literally light beaming out of his eyes in interviews and just the way he's carrying himself. He's so happy. I don't see where is he not happy. I've never not seen him frown in like months. Pretty much since the All-Star break when he turned it on and became a new level. He's been on cloud nine. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Let's see. All right, all right. Let me. Okay, there's a lot of good messages. I see what you guys are saying. I love this stuff. Okay, logical saying salute Omari Parsons. I talked to my mom, and she is a real estate friend helping her already, and she really likes her. I will definitely hit you up for the housing hunt buying wise. Okay, cool. Glad you guys are still networking on this. And she's got it figured out. But this is good. We'll keep putting you on blast, Omari, for things like listen. If you guys have anything you want to look to buy or rent, real estate or an apartment or something like that out in Mississauga area, Omari Parsons is your dude. Look him up. Find him in the phone book or online and call him. He will help you find a place if you need somewhere to live. That's Omari out in the 905. Cowboys saying can't wait to see Koloko versus Mobley. Yeah, they were putting the stat comparisons between Mobley and Koloko for preseason. They're kind of similar. This is the crazy thing. They're comparing one of the best rookies last year, who was in the running with Scottie Barnes, to Koloko right now for their preseason stats, and they're kind of similar in some ways. Very interesting. Logical saying, no doubt for a first 10 subs, you got it, bro. I'm not sure what that's about. Alistair saying Grant Williams always speaks nicely about the team. Grant Williams speaks nicely about us. Hey, all right. I don't really like him though. Let's see. Boston Sports saying, so you are getting hometown cooking? I don't know. We're trying. This is the thing. Y'all get hometown cooking for sure. You guys have always gotten hometown cooking. Red Auerbach had relationships with the refs in the 60s and different things like that. Let's not get it twisted. Y'all have had one of the best home court advantages for different reasons, whether it's like cutting off the hot water in the visitor's locker room or, pulling the fire alarms at the hotel the night before and stuff like that. Boston's always found a way to make themselves have some sort of home court advantage that's not necessarily has anything to do with basketball and stuff like that. So yeah, hey, we would love to get some favor, but we want to do it where we get respect from the refs because we're doing things the right way and stuff like that. But Nick Nurse will come up to a ref that likes Prince and start talking about Prince's music to try and sugarcoat things, make things a little more friendly. See, you like Prince? I love Prince. I got to play with the new Power Generation this summer at Toronto Jazz Festival. I got to play Purple Rain on the piano. Purple Rain, Purple Rain. It doesn't hurt that Mitchell Irvin loves Drake and that he's sitting at courtside. Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all. That Mitchell Irvin's favorite artist is Drake, and that he just happens to be our global ambassador sitting next to the coaches on the court side. That doesn't hurt. No, it doesn't. Stuff like that. All right, so logical saying Goldenberg, yeah, just like the old wrestler. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, Goldenberg. Yeah, we should do that for Jason Goldenberg because we love him. We'll just start doing that whenever he's the referee. Start treating him like Goldberg, the wrestler. That's awesome. Tom Duke is saying one Canadian ref out of 203, and he just became a ref this year. He was a part-time ref before. They made him full-time this year. And we're so proud of you, Matt Kallio of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. You go, Matt Kallio, Canadian ref. Cowboys saying one of many more to go. That's right, Tom. Yeah, we should. All right, gee, you like the ref report? I appreciate you liked it. That's what we were waiting for. You guys got it. So we know who to like and who not to like. Logical saying 35 out of 450 players are Canadian. So that ratio of refs is bad. Yeah, that's probably right. But are we going to have a ref from every single country that's represented by the players in the league? That may mean we have to have a German ref. Maybe we have a couple of refs from South America, stuff like that. It could be cool, actually. Nameless is saying maybe the real problem is there's too many Scots. Scott Wall is, there's different ones that are good Scots. There's good Scots and bad Scots. Bad Scott, Scott Foster. Good Scott, Scott Wall. Bad Scott, Danielle Scott. Good Scott, Evan Scott. I think it's just a common name. There's just a lot of Scots. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Scots. I know a lot of cool Scots. I've known many good Scots in my life. There's one particular named Mr. Scott Wayne Barnes. He's a fantastic Scot. I like him. Omari's saying 2 married refs is really weird. Blow my whistle, baby. Yuck. I don't know how they were married or when they got married or what happened with getting married and what happened with getting jobs and stuff like that. I don't know the order of things. But yes, Jonathan Sterling and Lauren Holtkamp Sterling are married. And one of them is good for us and one of them is not. I mean, Jonathan's okay. He's kind of in the middle. He's not super good for us, but Lauren's definitely good for us. But yeah, married refs. There are married refs. Let's see. Canadian Cowboy saying, who's here is ready for the fantasy league? All right, Cowboy. I got this open right now. I love seeing all the activity. The fantasy league's going to be good. Now, I noticed in Yahoo that they added a new button that says automatically set my team up for the week. So if you don't know what you're doing and you just want to do that, just hit that button. It'll say set up my team for the week. And boom, it'll put in all the players in the spots. Now, if you want to fine tune it and really make sure you fill in certain positions on certain games, like you want to get your point guard spot definitely filled in, go and manually do it yourself. But they have that great function that it'll automatically do it for you on Yahoo Fantasy Basketball this year. So thanks for bringing that up, Bradley. And we're excited to play. A lot of us are playing in this league. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll be having some trash talking and stuff like that. It'll be fun. All right, let's keep going. Guardian Transit's here. Sorry, I missed your list, but Brown is the worst one on mine. Brown, are you talking about out of the refs? Brown? Which Brown are you talking about? I'm trying to figure it out. Guardian, just elaborate, please. I know that was like 45 minutes ago, but please. Omari's ready. Omari's got the team that is called Duppy Conquerors. That he has Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James and Anthony Davis on his team, and Delano Banton. Like Duppy Conquerors is a serious favorite that going in this season. They are stacked. They got LBJ and Giannis. They got him. I don't even know how he did that. So look out for Amari's team. They're good. He's got Giannis and LeBron. Logical saying 1 in 10 NBA players are Canadian, just about. So technically, out of 203 refs, 20 should be Canadian if that ratio continued. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, is there fair representation in anything? Look at how long the Supreme Court was just a bunch of old white guys. That's what I'm saying. Better representation all around in different places is good. And I think the NBA is moving in the right direction by having more international refs and more female refs and just more refs of diversity and stuff like that. We are getting that more and more, but we can't expect it to all change overnight and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Boston Sports saying, I think Anthony Edwards just got fined not that long ago for LBGTQ slurs. Yes, he did. It was kind of like he was filming some people on a corner and making fun of them, and he posted it on social media, and it was a really stupid move by him. Yeah, this was a long time ago what happened with Bill Kennedy with this scandal, and I forget which player it was. I think it was somebody like Draymond, actually. They called him the F slur, and it was in the middle of the game, and Bill Kennedy kind of was like took the opportunity to say, "Yeah, I am," and came out after that, stuff like that. So yeah, Guardian saying, "Sorry, my apologies. The worst one on my list was Tony Brothers." Yeah, well, he is on the list. He's definitely one of the worst Raptor refs over the decades that he's been in the league. We have a bad winning record when he's refereeing. But like I said, he's somebody we can get on the good side of because I understand him to a degree. He just wants to help the best team, the team that's working the hardest and trying the hardest. He will take care of them. Let's see. All right, yeah, Cowboys got Koloko. It's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Duke Rock's saying Raps win-loss history after 28 years is 1,030 wins and 1,116 losses. This is something that I want to overcome and we get close to in the next couple years. We have more of a winning record over the next couple years. We can overcome this and be an over 500 team for our history because I'd love to see that. That's how much losing we did early on that we're still only a 48% winning team as a franchise in our history. It's crazy. Peter S is saying typical U.S. Canadian ratio is 10-1 for most things, so it makes sense. Peter, you're funny, man. Peter S and David S. I love those brothers. They're hilarious, man. He's about right though. Monique saying, glad I'm not alone on Tony Brothers. It's very popular to hate Tony Brothers, and there is good reason to. But this is the kind of thing. It's like we need to understand why people hate him and maybe not hate him like everybody else. And maybe we get favor because we're the people who don't hate him. Everybody else hates me, but the Raptors fans love me. So I'm going to go and take care of them, that kind of stuff. I don't know. It couldn't hurt since there is a lot of hate towards him. It would be the bit of the different. A logical saying population stats would suggest that to be correct if the number lines close to the ratio. Yeah. I mean, representation's important, and we're getting better refs as time goes on for sure. G saying I could never be a ref. I would definitely be biased. I know I couldn't do this either. You really have to be a certain type of person to be able to do this and stuff like that. I wonder if the refs are allowed to gamble on the games at this point because everything's so legal now. I hope not. They really should not be able to gamble on anything. Really, really should not. That if there's anything we learned from the Donaghy thing, they should not be gambling in any kind of way. Like maybe even not on tiddlywinks with the little kids on the corner, stuff like that. They don't need to be gambling on jacks. They don't need to be gambling three-card money. Don't even go near those slot machines. Nothing, refs. You stay on the up and up. You're not gamblers. You don't do that. Logical saying dirty ass refs. They're gonna give Nick a stroke or something. I'm not happy. Yeah, well, we just got to know what we're working with, know the settings, know the terrain, and work within it and do our best. This is how badass the Toronto Raptors are. We can be at detriments all kinds of different ways, but we overcome it. That's what I'm saying. Get that double digit lead so they can't fuck with us. Is very important. Cowboys saying, did anyone get their bags of crypto yet? It will be life changing. Get it while you can. All right, he's plugging crypto, guys. I won't plug it myself, but Cowboys saying go get some crypto. This is a good time to do it. I don't know anything about that world, so I can't chime in on this. Logical saying last 9 years when we've been good, Washington's been bad. Yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna look at these numbers and like the timelines of when they were reffing. And if it's a period in the Raptors franchise history that we should actually be have winning a lot, like we're winning like 60 to 70% of our games, and we're still only winning 40% with that referee involved. Yeah, that tells you something. Guardian saying Fred VanVleet received a foul against Joel Embiid in the playoffs for just touching him with his fingers. Listen to you on my way to Peninsula Lakes to golf. Awesome. We'll have a good round and just enjoy your day outside on the golf course, Guardian Transit. That's awesome. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Refereeing is really kind of like a thing that is not totally uh, lines. There's subjectiveness to it, kind of like judging art and stuff like that, or music. It's subjective. There's a bit of the refereeing that has to be a little bit of subjective, like kind of reasoning in the situation and stuff like that. And that is where things can come in with like favor, or like kind of like favoritism and stuff like that. So let's see. Click. Good morning to you, Click. Montreal Raptor Freak. Good luck golfing, bro. Salute the Click. Everybody say what up, the Click. Twitter family, Twitch family, Scottie Twitch family. Peter's saying you should do this on an index basis, essentially including our records over the ref's career. I thought about, Peter, breaking it down year by year and looking at our record each year and the refs' records with this. And, I could factor in like strength of opponents with these things and stuff like that. But it really is hard, and it's a lot more work than I'm willing to do, honestly. But that could give you even more fruits of interesting information by if you could break it down year by year and look at exactly the records in relation to our record. But strength of schedule and who we played when those refs were reffing is also matters. It's like when we play a really good team like Milwaukee Bucks compared to a team like the Charlotte Hornets or something like that. It may be the opponents we're getting with the referees. I understand this. So that's why I had to kind of take an overall general. We're just going to act like it's all like equal. But you could control for those kind of things, strength of schedule, strength of opponents in games that they refereed. That is a factor in this. I have to admit that. But I'm not willing to do all the extra work to really like pinpoint all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to do it in general and really just looking at how long they ref and the percentages. That's really the most of that stuff like that. So let's see. Peter's saying Tony Brothers has been good since Scottie became his buddy. Yeah, Scottie's friends with Tony Brothers. This isn't a bad thing. Tony Brothers may be like, Scottie reminds me of my nephew. I want to help him out. He's such a good young man. I'm going to give him some good calls and stuff like that. Logical saying Lex cooking on the new ref stat for this year. Listen, the ref report will be every single game. We'll start on Wednesday. I will see who the referees are in the morning, and we will talk about them in depth. And in those ref reports, I will be talking about the things they like to eat, the music they like to listen to, their favorite book, their favorite, where they're from, all that kind of stuff. We'll do more of that and that thing. I could go through and like tell you all that kind of stuff right now, but it was really for the specific ref reports on game days when we're dealing with the 3 ref crews on those days. So look forward to that segment every single preview I do this season coming up. The ref report, where I talk about the 3 man ref crew, and we talk about whether they're friendly or not to the team. And maybe Nick Nurse can talk about Prince with them or something like that. Tom Duke saying, appreciate you putting this all together for us, Lex. I appreciate you, Tom Duke, is all the stuff you're doing to help with this channel and stuff like that. I had fun doing this stuff. And I did do some work. I was up till like 2 a.m. last night, fine tuning it, kind of really looking at it and stuff like that. Thank you, Cowboy. Thank you, Bradley. It was something work in progress. It's something I've been thinking about and studying a lot. I read a lot of articles about the referees and, of course, watching the Donaghy Netflix special and also just like all my observations from last year, because we really did pay attention to this on this channel. Like, where's the ref manipulation? What is the instances of it and who is guilty of it? So we are watching y'all, and we know when you're doing funny things, Ed Malloy. Yeah, we're watching you, buddy. All right, let's see. Logical saying, with our physical defenders, it's key to have the refs understanding us and respecting our guys. I completely agree with this, Mike. That, like, listen, Shaq, he was a weird player because he was so physical without doing a lot of overt stuff. He could just like do a little bump and it would really like be very physical. So they had to ref Shaq so different. Now we're on that scale of things like that in some ways as a team whole, that they have to ref us a little different just because of our MO and the way we like to play and stuff like that. And it is important. Like, this can really handcuff us, that if they're calling a lot of calls on us so that we can't be physical, but meanwhile they're letting Boston get away with everything at the other end of the court. That's what I'm talking about, being consistent. You're going to call it tight on our end of the court and we're getting any touch fouls, you better for damn sure be giving Pascal foul shots at the other hand, because he's getting hit too. And that's something you can look for. Is it lopsided the way the refs are calling the calls on both ends of the court? Is one side getting real touchy? hair trigger calls? Is the other side letting them play a little bit more? That's what we got to look out. That's a really bad part because they can handcuff us with being able to play physically because they're calling it so close on us. Meanwhile, they're letting them hit the hell out of us. We saw a bit of this in the playoffs against the Sixers. This kind of ref treatment by them, where one side was very, very called quick, and the other side they let a lot go and stuff like that. I don't like that. It's not good. We need to help try and get it on our favor. Alistair saying, hopefully it shouldn't matter how they ref and we win regardless. Yes. Ultimately, we don't want to blame the refs for anything why we lose. We just want to be so good that we win no matter what. And that is really the ultimate goal. That the refs shouldn't be an excuse. And a lot of people get mad at me when I do bring them up as being a factor and possibly why we lost. And it's like, no, we should have just played better. And that's why we lost. Well, that's true in a lot of cases. But also the refs can have a little bit of being a manipulative force in the outcome of the game. And if you're not opening your eyes to that and seeing it, then you need to like really pay attention and you'll see it. You'll see it. Cowboys saying, I think we play bully ball through our roster. So I think it will be in our favor because we all play physical. Yeah, as long as we do it correctly. And that's why it really is. They're a resource to get information from on how to do very specific movements and things so that you're not the one getting the foul call on you. It's not an offensive charge, it's a foul on them instead. And that really is paying attention and listening. And like I said, that can go so far with respect with the refs. If you're a young player and you're like, I want to learn from them how to play within the game and the rules of the NBA from the refs, they will look out for you because you are actually trying and listening to them. I think this is a big part of what Chris Boucher's done in the last year, that he's very much communicating with the refs and asking them, well, how, if I do this differently this way, will you call it better for me in the future? And they say, yeah, if you do it that way, then we won't do that. And then they see him actually change his behavior in the court. And they're like, wow, he listened to me and he's actually doing it. Boom. That's how you get favor from the refs all of a sudden, because you listen to them and you actually exhibit that you listen to them on the court. That's a really quick way to get their favor. Is people like being listened to and like, oh, okay, he listened to me. And then they're like, I like him. It's like that. Let's see. Fun guy saying, laughing my ass off. Grant Williams had the crowd lit as a janitor. Listen, I love that he's not above doing that. Some players would be like, I will never get on my knees and scrub the floor like Cinderella. Moo. I actually liked him more for that. I don't like Grant Williams at all, but I did like that he got on the floor and did that. Logical saying, get those floor boys some milk and get some real elbow grease going. That's right. Get them kids growing up strong with milk and get down there and get in there. Don't be, job is not just to be fun and smile and have a little buffer thing. And I get to run on the court and do little fun things. This is like, you have a job. Do it. Get that fucking condensation off the court. You didn't get the condensation off the court. What are you doing? Just buffing around. You need to be on the spirit squad or a cheerleader if you just want to run out on the court and smile and stuff. You are there to do a job, buff boy. You better buff that floor. That's what you better do. Grant Williams is doing your job. What the hell? Oh my gosh, hilarious. Okay, Cool Cat says Grant Williams said it was not condensation, it was the athlete's sweat. Whoa, that makes it gross to me. I just want to believe it's the condensation. Well, who's sweating that much? That it's just like laying on the court and like that. Okay, if Grant Williams said that and he knows he was down there in it, then I'll take the word for it. Okay, so it wasn't the condensation. It was just some people are out of shape and they're just like really sweating a lot. It's hilarious. Okay, Click saying the ice was fresh. There was a hockey game there the night before. Okay, all right. I may be just talking to my ass. This could be like a historic thing, though. That this kind of stuff happens. It does have to do with hockey ice usually. But okay, so we're just saying that Marcus Smart is just a sweaty bastard. This is what happened. He's just really sweaty as a person. And that's why the floor was so dangerous the other night. Okay, all right. If Grant Williams said it, Cool Cat's backing it up. Now Click's saying it too. All right, you guys switched me over. That's just a normal thing, that what I was saying about conversions and stuff like that. Tom's saying, that's interesting, Cool Cat. Maybe it was just humid in the building in general. It was just hot in there. There was just, it's a swanky building. It's just the swankiness of Montreal. And just like, it was just a feeling. It was just the way it was. Everybody was perspiring with anticipation over the great plays by the Raptors. It just accumulated in moisture on the court. I don't know what I just said. This sounded weird. I did say the word moisture. That's not always good. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, "Click. That should be a good thing. Having more solid ice." Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying that it wasn't melting because the ice was fresh. And Click knows because he was there. So let's see. Click is saying Precious does have the tools to be great. When the shot starts falling and his defense picks up, he can be a very useful player. I think he's going to be a superstar. He has all the tools. He has all the tools. He has the athletic gifts. He has the desire. This dude can be so good. He can be an all-star. He can be like a go-to guy on a team. He can be the man on a team. I really see the tools are there for Precious. He can do it all around. And he's both ends of the court. That's the other thing that's really attractive about him. He makes the threes consistently. He starts to keeps being a slasher, aggressive like this. The sky's the limit for him. It really is. Jimmy Pope saying Scottie had this interview for 2K TV. It was pretty funny. Scottie did an interview on 2K TV. Cool. His commercial is awesome. I love that Google Pixel commercial. I'm so happy to see him in it. And we'll see the High School U commercial also from Nike. Will be coming out with him and Josh Giddey. That commercial, it should be out, or maybe it's been out already and stuff like that. It's good job, Scottie. Just keep going. You're doing awesome. Cool Cat saying, yeah, I joined Twitch yesterday. He was not talking much, just playing games and letting his friends talk. He mentioned you, Raptor Freak friends, at a preseason. Awesome. Okay, cool. Cool Cat was there and watched Scottie's Twitch a bit. He was not talking much to the people. He was just mainly playing 2K23 and letting Lloyd and them probably talk more. And he mentioned us. Awesome. I love to hear that. He probably is wondering where the fuck I am. Because I haven't been in both times. Like, he's gone on this week. I feel bad that I missed him. I'm really going to pay attention and try and be there for him in the next 3 days. If he goes on today, I will be there today. If he goes on there tomorrow, I will be there tomorrow. If he goes on there Tuesday, I will be there on Tuesday. I'm going to prioritize Scottie Twitch watch over the next 3 days, and I'll make sure I get in there and at least communicate with him a little bit before the season starts and stuff like that. You know, I'm excited. I'm glad you got in there, Cool Cat, and you saw what was going on. Was he playing my team? Was he really just playing my team? Because that's a different mode that he said he wouldn't play and stuff. Monique saying, what did you take away from the interview with Lindsey Dunn and Bo Cruz? Good small interview. I haven't seen that interview. Once again, Monique is seeing stuff I haven't seen yet. Lindsey Dunn's so fun that it probably wasn't that serious of an interview, and it was probably pretty fun. I like this picture of Scottie with Bo Cruz on his Instagram right now. Scottie posted a bunch of pictures from this preseason of different things and him, and he posted this really nice picture of him with his arm around Wancho, and he has this big, huge smile. It's like he's just hanging out with a movie star, and he's like cool with it. I loved seeing that on Scottie's Instagram. And Scottie seems like he's really happy after the game in Montreal, that he kind of had this bust out and say, okay, guys, yeah, there's nothing wrong with me. Don't worry about me. You're going to see some stuff coming. Don't doubt me. I'm coming, because some of us were worried about him in the preseason and how he looked. Well, now he's like, hey, I'm fine. And it's like, I can come online, and like, y'all are not going to give me crap for not looking exactly right in preseason and stuff like that. So I'm going to be on Twitch watch, and that's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Cool Cats, anyone meeting up for Wednesday game? I'm going to the game. Well, I know Monique will be at the game, Cool Cat. I will not be at the game. But I'm sure there will be a lot of other people that will be at the game and stuff like that. I don't know. If anybody is going to the game, talk to Cool Cat, and maybe you guys can link up or something like that. I know Monique will be there, so maybe you can go see Monique, or maybe you'll run into Monique in the building. She's all over the place. Trust me, she's everywhere at the games. She gets around and says stuff to everybody. Omari's saying, I was talking about your Ben Simmons impression. I don't want to go outside. Oh, yeah. Okay. When you said that, yeah. He's like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go to the game. The game's in Philly. The game's in Philly. Oh, man. Brooklyn's going to be fun to watch this year. It really is. G saying, I see Precious's body language has got much better. At one point, yes, he would miss a shot and put his head down and not get back on D, but I see progress. He did that a little bit in preseason, But that may have been more in last year when he was unsure in the first half of the year. But I really like he's changed as a pit person since the Rising Stars Challenge at the All Star break last year. Him going there and being a part of that really did something to him, like changed his mindset, made him feel like he belongs more, and has given him all kinds of new confidence. So he's all positive. He's all light. I don't see any darkness with him right now. Monique saying, Road to 500. Way to go with the content. Thanks, Monique. Yeah, and I'm going to have 400 streams on Tuesday for Classic Jurassic Raptor Freak Trivia. Tuesday morning, 9:30 a.m. will be my 400th stream in a row, guys. Yeah, 400, baby. And get up 500 subscribers, please. 25 more subscribers, and I'll be at 500, y'all. Let's go, subscribers. If you like anything I'm saying on this channel today, hit that subscribe button. It helps me so much. And then you can chat with me in the chat. Only subscribers get to chat with me now at this point. That's why we ain't seeing in this riffraff of Vinnie Mac and Chet Holmgren, Iceman Holmgren, stuff like that. Cool Cat saying Raptor Freak Precious is hard on himself when he misses a shot. He hangs his head, slow run back. He will work on it. Still young. Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see him. He's staying very positive. He's also said he stays in the moment. He doesn't hang his head. Like if he misses a shot, he just moves to the next one. He missed a lot of shots on Friday night, but I really see that energy from him. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing. Mason saying, can't wait for the season to start already. We did good this preseason. Bet the teams we needed to bet. Now the dubs count. Go Raps. Yeah, we got great players, great acquisitions, kept who we have. I love that I got my new Raptors calendar for next year. I get a calendar with the Raptors on it. And because we had so much continuity carried over from last season, every single one of the months has a player that's still on the team. Because I had a calendar this year that had Aaron Baines on it this year. And I'm like, what the fuck is Aaron Baines doing on my Raptors calendar? Well, this year, every single player is still on the team that's in the Raptors calendar that they got printed already. And I love that. That's part of the continuity of us keeping everybody on the team. 500 soon. Yes, let's go, Logical Raptors fanatic. Yes, please help drive up. I'm a fun guy saying, I think people are confusing Precious's body language as a frustration with him just always zoned out. His reaction time is always so slow, but he's always much better many games into the season. It's preseason once again. I don't see any of this. I haven't seen anything from Precious that has me worried in this preseason. In fact, I'm encouraged and feeling real good about where he's going and stuff like that. Boston Sports saying it's that Lucky the Leprechaun. Yeah, that part of the home court advantage for Boston. Well, tune in for my preview when we play y'all. We've had the battle between the Raptor and Lucky. In the real mascot matchup, Lucky the Leprechaun is literally having wrestling wars with the Raptor in this crazy story I'm telling. They're out in this weird Wild West steampunk world, and Lucky is a bartender, a big Irish bartender, and he saw the Raptor harassing a middle school kids that were playing band instruments, and he wanted to fight him, and they had a fight, and yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, they had round 2 just this past Friday, and it's part of the real mascot matchup in the previews for the games. Check it out. When we play Boston, yeah, Lucky will be fighting the Raptor again in that real mascot matchup. It's like anime. It's like an anime story. I tell it. And it's like a weird world where the mascots of NBA teams fight each other and stuff like that. It's really weird. Really weird. It is crazy. Duke saying, Lex, it's not a question of Achua's happiness. In the Boston game, you can see his demeanor change to uncertainty, mostly because of the shooting and missed assignments. Okay. I don't know. It seems like he's playing. I don't see that. I see him play through it. I don't know. I'm not. If you see something, we'll look out for it. But I'm not worried about this at all. You're not worried about it either. Okay, good. It's preseason. What's to worry about? Logical saying, no doubt, Precious is still young and has shown ability to learn from things. So I'm not worried either. Yeah, we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. He's not the kind of guy I'm worried about. He's going to be better and better. Tom Duke saying Tony Brown has officiated 1,016 regular season games and 25 playoff games in 17 seasons as an NBA official. He has pancreatic cancer and has had 14 rounds of chemo, still reffing NBA games. He's not active right now. No, Tony isn't. And they're really trying to battle this. All the refs have had fundraisers for him, and they really came together. The whole NBA family, the players, the announcers, the head office, and the referees are really trying to fundraise and help out Tony Brown. with his battle against cancer. But yeah, he's not actively reffing at this point. They're hoping that he can come back and beat this so he can ref again. But yeah, that is another ref story we need to put in the ref report, that Tony Brown is having these health problems and he's battling them right now. So, Cool Boys here. Twitch family is here in the house. Scottie Barnes, Twitch family, W Stream, W Scottie, W Cool Boy. Everybody head, but that like button, and Bonsai drop the subscribe button. Yes, do it like a Yokozuna drop off the top ropes. Ooh, crush it, crush it. Yeah. Duke saying, I believe players and refs aren't allowed to gamble on sports. Huge no. Yeah, I would hope that. Although Pete Rose is probably really upset at this point that the Cincinnati Reds have all kinds of gambling around their team all of a sudden. They're like, wait, what a second. Wait, what? Whoa, things have changed, Pete. It's a little different. Yeah, I think you're right, Duke, that nobody's allowed to really gamble involved in like any of the teams or anything around the NBA. They just shouldn't do it. I don't like that they've opened up gambling on basketball the way that they have in some ways. I really don't like it. I really don't like seeing gambling commercials during sports games. I don't like it. It's not good. Cool Boy saying Scottie might have a gaming addiction. Do you think we should do intervention for him? He's playing better on 2K right now. That's good. Did you see him yesterday, Cool Boy? I missed the stream yesterday. I saw that he was there around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and maybe he wasn't on for too long. I don't know. I'm not going to tell him that he has an addiction to video games. I think it's funny. He said it in the interview the other day. He said, "What do you do on your day?" And he's like, "I get up, I play the game." And it's like when he said "play the game," I was like, he means he's playing 2K23. Yeah. He said, "I get up, I eat something, and then maybe I play the game." And I'm like, he's talking about playing 2K23. I don't know. I don't think he needs an intervention. He looked really good on Friday night. I think that the game actually helps him with his decision making. It actually is like a little simulator, and that he can kind of look at spacing and like decisions in the 2K game, and maybe partly be part of the computer that's on the court in the real game, and like help inform him in split second decisions. So I don't think he shouldn't be playing the game. I think he should play it and enjoy himself and stuff like that. I don't think, and also we got to realize last month, Cool Boy, when he was on so much, he was actually on the shelf. He was actually not being worked out because he had an injury we didn't know about. And that was part of the reason why he was on Twitch so much in September, was because his ankle was messed up and he actually had to take rest time and stuff like that. So I don't know if he's playing better on 2K. I'm glad. I hope he just keeps winning. I just want him to get W's in everything he does in life, whether it's on 2K or in the real Raptors for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's worse addictions for sure, Tom, dude. Very much worse addictions than being on 2K. And I don't think he plays like super amounts. I know he will do a marathon, like 5 hours playing that game sometimes, but listen, he think about what else he could be doing. He could be out like drinking, or he could be out like at the strip clubs like James Harden. Or he could be out there like having all kinds of girlfriends and having all kinds of extracurricular drama in his life because he's like a Casanova or something like that. There's all kinds of other pitfalls this man could be falling into. So I'd much rather Scottie basketball be around basketball, even if it's the video game basketball and stuff like that. So yeah, Tom's saying we all need an escape. This Raptor addiction of mine is my therapy for a busy and chaotic daily grind. There you go. Tom Duke is a Raptor freak because he needs it to survive, to get it away from everything else. This is his delight and his happiness, and the light in his life is being a huge Raptors fan and loving, cheering for this badass, amazing team and stuff like that. Yeah, Tom Duke, same. See, Logical is the same boat. I'm in the same boat. You guys, we are birds of a feather. We really are, and we are flocking together on the Raptors Freak channel here. This is for real. Logical saying, analyzing a game versus doing for work and crap, I don't care about. No, not gonna lie. Listen, this has become really kind of partly my job. Other than the stuff I do, this is a big part of my day, preparing the stream every day and doing all the different things I do for this channel. And I don't mind it. It's a very much a passion project. I love it so much. I'm doing it for free, and I have no problem doing that. It really does keep me sane and happy. Cool Boy saying, I just know when I play video games, my hands are sore and you can obtain calluses. Does it look like Scottie is feeling the ball the same as last year? You're reaching on this. Cool boy, you're a little bit of a troll, but I like you a lot. You're hilarious. The one thing that was hilarious about Scottie playing on Twitch at the beginning of the year was the beginning of the summer when he first started getting on there, he's playing 2K and he's playing Fall Guys actually at that time. And he kept hitting the wrong button and he blamed his gigantic hands. He was like, "My damn huge hands. I keep hitting the wrong button because my fingers are too long." So crazy. His hands were too big for the controller. It's almost like he needs a special huge controller that's in scale with his hands and stuff like that. I worry about that with him and stuff like that. But nah, I don't think he's getting calluses and stuff like. If he's getting calluses and things like that, it's probably from lifting the weights. It's probably from doing things with the basketball. You get some rub on your hands just from holding the basketball and dribbling it so much and shooting it so much and stuff like that. So I don't think the calluses are from the controller. I think they would just be from basketball related things that he's doing with the grind on the real court and stuff like that. Let's see. Omari's saying, what team is going to pick up Josh Jackson? You know what? If I was Josh Jackson, I would just say, "See ya, NBA. I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to Greece. I'm going somewhere over here, and I'm going to get him like a huge contract and get paid." That's what I would do if I was Josh Jackson at this point. Now, there could. All right, this is something we could talk about real quick. Blake Murphy is announced because there is a possibility he could be on our 905, but we did a bunch of 905 moves yesterday, and he wasn't involved in them. He was actually eligible for us to turn around and maybe put him on the 905, but I don't think he wanted to do that. That he's at this point in his career, he doesn't want to do this. But here's what Blake Murphy is saying on Twitter yesterday. The Raptors are signing and waiving David Johnson, Reggie Perry, Christian Vital, and Ryan Hawkins. Exhibit 10 deals, essentially camp deals that get the players a $50,000 bonus if they stay with Raptors 905 long enough. So Johnson was with the Raps 905 on a two-way last year and now returns as a pure G leaguer. Perry is returned, and they've signed and waived to get a bonus money. He had a couple of NBA looks, and Vital was in Vegas with them, then acquired in a trade. You'll like him a lot. CEBL and Pascal connections. Hawkins was with the Raps for Summer League as well after going undrafted, one of the most decorated Division II players in recent memory. So the current 905 looks like this. They got the two ways, Ron Harper Jr. and Jeff Doughton Jr. We got a couple of, quite a few Exhibit 10s, Gabe Brown, Christian Vital, Reggie Perry, Ryan Hawkins, David Johnson. We've got Noel coming back. Mukama and Smith and Kawano are the names that I'm seeing right here. And there's probably more people coming. But the draft is in October 22nd, and camp starts on October the 24th. And stuff like that. It's interesting that we don't see a couple names, but David Johnson is still involved in our team, and he will be a pure G leaguer this year, not a two-way and stuff like that. So good to see that David still got some sort of place in the Raptors organization and may still have a path somewhere, some way, and stuff like that. So there you go. That's your 905 update on some of the roster moves they did yesterday. We definitely got Gabe Brown back, Reggie Perry, David Johnson. Those are good names. And Ryan Hawkins was great at Summer League. He did some interesting things for us. He was that great three-point shooter. So it's cool to see him on our 905 team, the Hawk. And hopefully he can bomb in Mississauga this year. It'd be awesome. Let's see. Monique's saying, set your phone for Scottie Twitch. Watch. That's how I do it. Okay, Monique's got an alert. I kind of just watch my Yahoo email account. When I see something pop up, I don't get a lot of emails on there. And when I do, I see it. And then I look and see who it is. It's junk mail, or it says, your boy Scottie's on Twitch and he mentioned you. You better get in there. And that's where I'm going. Cowboy's saying, true, Tom. The Raps make my gray days sunny. Yep, sunny days. You know, it is really weird. It's like it really does buoy your spirit and make you feel good and stuff. But when you ride this train like this emotionally, when they lose, it's sad and it's hard to deal with also. So you got to balance things and separate it to a degree. I was really bad when I was younger with letting whether the Raptors are winning or losing affect my emotions. And when I drank, it was really bad. Like in the mid 2000s, when I was at the height of my alcoholism, if the Raptors were losing, which was a lot sometimes with the Bosch era, I was not fun to be around. I was very grouchy and grumpy. And this is part of the reason why my ex-wife left me. It's because when the Raptors were losing, I was drunk. I was not a nice person to be around. I really wasn't. Amari Parsons is saying Peyton Pritchard is the real Lucky the Leprechaun. I know they could dress that dude up and have him be Lucky's brother. Lucky's such a weird mascot. He's a real person. He doesn't wear a suit. He just comes out and he's like, I'm in a green hat and I'm Lucky. I'm gonna do some dunks for you and stuff like that. It's a weird mascot. It's kind of cool in some ways and stuff like that, but it is weird too. Monique saying, I do the same with the Raptors calendars, Lex. So you get the calendar too. Let me get my calendar. I appreciate Adriana getting me my calendar. She usually does. This is the calendar I got. It's got Scottie and Fred on the front. And on the back, you can see all the different months. It looks like we got January's Gary Trent, February's Fred, March is Scottie, April's Precious, May is OG, June is Pascal, July's Malachi. Then we start over, and Gary is in August, Fred is in September, October is OG, November is Scottie, and then Pascal for December also. Yeah, these calendars are awesome. And I really do use them kind of to mark all the games, wins, and losses for the season. So I have a bunch of these calendars from the last few years that have all the games that the Raptors played marked, whether they won or lost and stuff like that. They're great calendars. I bet that's the same calendar you get, Monique. Duke Rocks is saying, I got to run. I'll have him post Thanksgiving dinner with Fly. Hard to get us all together on the same day. Okay, Duke. Well, happy Thanksgiving. And, it's in between. It's not even Thanksgiving for the States yet. So it's not even like it's too late or anything like that. Mason Culligan saying, have a great day, guys. Have a great day to you also, Mason. I'm going to wrap it up. We're almost at 2.5 hours. Tom saying, I won't forget that first time you came across Lex and was like, thank you, universe. Oh, awesome, Tom. Well, I'm so happy that we found this channel and that things have been going the way they are. I really am glad to be partnering with you and helping me do this channel. You've been such a huge help and a godsend. And I really appreciate you, Tom. Let's go Raptors, Canadian Cowboy. Amari is saying, I mean, in real life, did he sign with someone already? No, Josh Jackson hasn't signed with anyone. He's totally out there in limbo doing whatever. So I have no idea what he's going to do. I haven't seen him at all. Let's see. Cowboys saying, oh, my bad, Amari. Don't now. I'm a Raptors through and through. Let's go. Cool boy. Laughing at cool boy. All right. We'll finish this up here. Logical saying, Siakam plays a lot of video games, more FIFA, but not online streaming. He has for years. So there's no concern, in my opinion. Well, we know Siakam is not overdoing it with the video games. We know he's probably overdoing it with the practices and stuff like that. He is not human. The way he puts his body through so much, he never gets tired and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's. I'm not concerned about Scottie with the video games. I know Cool Boy's just kind of being tongue in cheek. 905 info's good. Yeah, Monique saying, you beat me to it. The 905, I was going to type it. I had to say it. David Johnson, I'm so happy to see he's still around, and Reggie Perry. Ryan Hawkins, great player. This is going to be fun. 905 is going to be very interesting, especially if we're still able to send guys like Delano, Justin, Christian Koloko down there to be a part of it. Koloko is going to play on that level to a degree. I wonder how much Delano will actually have to play down there this year, seeing that he's made a leap with his game and that he may not need the 905 and that he really will be just on our side with the main team and stuff like that. It's very interesting. Let's see. Logical saying David Johnson's stats were okay, and he's in part 2 of my video. Okay, cool. So check out part 1. Is about two-way players and two-way contracts on Logical Raptors Fanatics YouTube channel. I'm going to watch it this afternoon, a little bit later from now. W. Peter Saborin, W. You guys, W. Isaac Campbell. Coming in late today. Happy weekend to all. Have you considered sharing the stream with one or two of your friends who are also Raptor fans? Winning. Yes, that's what Isaac Campbell's asking all of us. If you guys have other Raptor friends and they would be interested in the channel and the stuff we're doing here, definitely share it with them, because maybe they can come in and add their 2 cents and really help and add to everything that we're doing here and stuff like that. We really do cover a lot and in depth here. Winning, hashtag winning, Isaac Campbell. Thank you, sir. And thank you for plugging that and being here today. Logical saying it's been a classic stream today for the info presented today. Thank you, Logical. I appreciate that. I will work on topic focusing the right balance you want on your channel. My bad. I hear you and respect. It's all good, man. Just hear your voice in the chat. I know you said that you're a mod on a lot of different places and you're used to typing really fast and doing a lot of stuff and stuff like that. Just think about what your voice is in here as far as like what it's adding to everything. I think everybody in general kind of does that to a degree, but it's just that you're such a volume commenter, and I don't mind that because you're very much contributing really helpful and worthwhile stuff. It's just some of it is kind of like, now you're starting to get into more conversations with other people in the chat. And then it's hard for me to kind of decipher and go through it and stuff like that. But I'm getting better at like kind of picking and choosing where the comments are the ones that I need to read and stuff like that. It's all good, man. I really appreciate you being here. Honestly, you've been here a lot lately and it's been fantastic because you are very learned. And I really do respect what you're doing on your channel. It's really, really awesome. It's like we need more content that's kind of positive and responsible about the Raptors and stuff like that because there's a lot of stuff that isn't either one of those. It isn't. Go Raptors, go Reggie. Yeah, go Reggie Perry. So happy he's back in the mix. Tom Duke saying, yeah, that's great to still have Reggie Perry in the mix. Winning, W Stream, W Tom Duke, W Logical Raptors Fanatic, W Monique. Great stream to you, Tom Duke. 500 subs. Let's go. 400 shows. 500 subs. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Raptors. All right, y'all. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Whatever you're doing, playing golf, having Thanksgiving, doing whatever you're going to do, watching Scottie on Twitch. Respect to you, Tom Duke. Respect to you, Logical Raptors Fanatic, and everybody else coming in today. A Cool Cat, Boston Sports, everybody, Omari, Bradley, Peter, everybody. Thanks for being here and spending your morning with me talking about the Raptors and learning about the refs. Just we got to have a good relationship with them. This is the most important thing. If we can game the system to get some things from them because we like the same music or Drake is sitting at courtside, that's good. We want to get more favor with them and know that we love them. We love you, refs. You guys are awesome. Keep doing great jobs. And just realize some of the refs are a little stingy and older, and some of the refs are awesome and very cool people. So we can't just say all the refs suck because that's not true. Some of the refs really do suck, but some of the refs are very awesome people, and we should try and foster and develop relationships, rapport with them, with our players, the Raptor players, and our coaches, and with them because that can allow for good things to happen and stuff like that. Respect, Cool Cat. Let's go. All right. See y'all tomorrow for my Eastern Conference preview of who I think is going to be top dog in the East and who's going to be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I just opened PowerPoint for a second. All right. Let's go Raptors.